This lens allows you to see through walls, and this is playable Minecraft inside of a chest. Here are the best secrets Minecraft is hiding from you. Spectator mode is special because it usually doesn't allow you to interact with the world. However, in Bedrock Edition, there's an exception. You can collect experience orbs while in spectator mode. I feel like I'm hacking! Using the /item replace command, you can place a spyglass on your head slot, and it looks funky. Then when you use a spyglass regularly, it'll look almost like you're holding binoculars. Well, sort of. Beds are hiding an annoying secret. So when you place a bed down, you probably know it's 2 blocks long. But if you place each of the individual parts of the bed down using commands, you can see there's an annoying black pixel the artist forgot to remove. To open the secret door, you have to throw a trident against the wall. This is because a trident enchanted with loyalty is able to press any wooden button or pressure plate on the other side. It's quite cool how the spinning trident is able to still interact with redstone. If you're being chased by piglins, don't run into your shelter. Piglins may not seem like the smartest hostile creatures, but they actually have the ability to open doors. Hey, get out of my house! You can also just create a line of doors, and it's pretty cool seeing it open all the doors quickly as it tries to attack the player. This feature is kind of sad. Regular piglins are masters with the crossbow and pretty annoying with it too. However, once they turn zombified, they forget how to use the crossbow and will just punch you with it. Under special conditions, mobs can fly using elytras. If you just summon a zombie with an elytra, it won't be able to use it and will fall straight to the ground. You have to specifically enable the full flying property. This setting allows the mob to use the elytra and glide towards the ground. It looks quite funky because the mob tilts its head upwards as it flies. It even works on mobs without visible armor slots like pigs and even slimes, so you can have all kinds of mobs gliding down from the sky. Check out this strange phenomenon. Notice how one item floats higher than the others? If you think this trick has something to do with a carpet, you'd be right. Beneath the second item is actually wall blocks. When items are thrown on top of walls, they actually float higher than those on regular blocks. And by covering the top of the walls with a carpet, you can hide the walls and create this strange effect. In Java Edition, trying to grow a tree at the build limit is pointless. The sapling won't grow, no matter how much bone meal you use. However, in Bedrock Edition, a sapling at the build limit will grow into a single log, replacing the sapling itself. I just discovered the most cursed Minecraft feature. So you probably know that when a zombie kills a villager, it has a chance to turn it into a zombie villager. And you might even know that drowned mobs can turn villagers into zombies as well. However, if a drowned throws a trident at a villager, it can also turn the villager into a zombie villager. This doesn't make sense. I just found something crazy! So in Bedrock Edition, when you suffocate under gravel or sand, air bubbles appear at your hotbar. These are the same bubbles that appear when the player is underwater. So it made me wonder, what will happen if you drink a water-breathing potion while suffocating? Turns out you won't take any damage. Water-breathing potions will prevent suffocation under sand in Bedrock Edition. How am I climbing this wall? You might guess it has something to do with these maps, and you'd be correct. When you place a map into an item frame, it will cover the face of the block. However, you're actually able to still place a vine into the same spot. This creates the illusion that you're climbing the wall with no visible support. This trick only works with vines and not ladders, as the larger hitbox of ladders causes the item frames to pop off. You can combine nether portals and paintings. In Java Edition, you're able to place paintings on the inside of a nether portal. You can then surround the entire portal with paintings, and you'll have yourself a painting portal. I can't believe this works. Healing potions damage undead mobs like zombies and skeletons, and it turns out another strange mob counts as undead. The Wither! Healing potions will actually damage the Wither, so you can kill one of the deadliest bosses by just throwing potions of healing. Pressure plates offer a quick way to enter your house, but the downside is that mobs can enter your house as well. A much better alternative is this machine. Once you open the door, it gets quickly shut behind you, so there's only enough time for you to get in and not any mobs following you behind. Right now, we're able to craft leather horse armor with just 7 leather, and the other variants have to be found inside of structure chests. However, back in this snapshot, when horse armor was first added, they could actually be crafted with just 6 minerals and 1 wool. You could craft iron, gold, and diamond armor with this recipe. However, in the next snapshot, the recipe was removed. If you look really closely at a water bottle texture and then compare it to a honey bottle texture, they'll seem almost identical. However, the honey bottle is actually 4 more pixels fuller than the water bottle. You have to be very patient to notice this. The prismarine block may seem like a boring old texture, but it's actually animated. The cracks in prismarine slowly cycle in color through blue, green, and purple. The full animation for this takes an entire 5 minutes and 30 seconds. The animation is much more noticeable when you speed up the footage.
Entering a nether portal in survival mode mode normally takes 4 seconds. However, in 1.21, 2 new ways were introduced to go through these portals almost instantly. The first is by throwing an ender pearl, which quickly teleports you through, though it can be a bit risky because you don't know where the pearl will land. The second way is much safer. Just ride a boat through the portal. It's still quite fast and more predictable.
Using bone meal on grass typically results in a variety of flowers sprouting, but in a swamp biome, something unusual happens. Only blue orchids appear. So if you need to get some light blue dye quickly, you can easily get some at a swamp. The cake item and cake block actually are illegal. First, the item is clearly a circle shape. However, when you place it down, it magically turns into a square. Secondly, if you count up all the sprinkles on the item, you'll count a total of 7. But once you place down the block, there'll be 8 sprinkles on it. Minecraft's unplayable! Wither roses hurt animals and players that get near it. But you can actually feed bees the roses to heal and breed them. But it's a bit of a waste to use wither roses on them when you can just use cheaper dandelions, which are much easier to pick up. If you place an item frame on a lectern, the textures will collide into one another. However, if you use an invisible item frame, place a gold block inside, and build a structure around it, you'll have yourself an arcade machine. You can spin the gold block around, and it'll look like a joystick controller. Or you can also just put a banner inside, and it'll look like an arrow. When you check your creative menu, you'll notice a bunch of spawn eggs with unique textures. But in an older version of Minecraft, all spawn eggs were sourced from the same texture file and were just tinted to different colors. Luckily, in the very next version, the eggs were updated and got their own unique designs. Explorer maps depend on chunk data. So if you have traveled in a certain chunk before, then that area will be filled out on the map. On the other hand, normal maps require you to hold the item and explore for the data to be filled in. Most players think blazes can only shoot fire charges, but if you get close to them, they'll also melee attack you. Minecraft's apple texture was stolen! Well, kind of. You see, the apple texture was first seen in a game called Legend of the Chambered. It was a 3D dungeon crawler game, and you'd actually find several textures that ended up in Minecraft, like the armor, swords, and even quiver. So, why did Minecraft take all these textures? It's because this strange game was actually developed by Notch before he began working on Minecraft. Peaceful mode is overpowered! If you switch your game difficulty to peaceful mode, TNT explosions will not harm you at all. No matter the amount of TNT you detonate, you will remain completely safe. When you shoot a firework from a crossbow, you can guide where the firework goes with blocks. The firework will continue its flight until its fuse goes off, and you can increase how long it takes to explode by adding gunpowder into the crafting recipe. Even if you shoot fireworks straight into the ground, its flight path will be adjusted by the blocks until it explodes. Instead of just digging one void hole, why not dig 2? Because by doing so, you can fly beneath one of them and straight into another. Your friends will think you're crazy flying down there, but you'll just be headed towards your secret base. If you give a fox a red carpet, it will bite it, making it look like the fox has a red tongue sticking out. Considering how tricky foxes are to catch, it almost feels like the fox is taunting you with its tongue. While adult piglins prefer trading with gold, the baby piglins are a lot less picky. The babies will attempt to pick up every item, regardless of whether or not it's made of gold. Hey! Give me my command block back! Wait, why am I in survival? I'm sorry! If you're using a ton of rails to go up and down your mines, you're making a mistake. Not only is this super slow, but it also costs a lot of iron. Instead, you should use water bubble beams. Minecarts are actually able to travel up these bubble beams, so it's a no-brainer to use these as they're a lot more efficient. There's a hostile mob you can sleep with, but only sometimes. You may think it's something like baby slimes because they can't hurt you, but this is wrong. Or maybe even piglins if you're wearing gold armor. However, you still won't be able to sleep with them nearby. The answer is zombified piglins. You're able to sleep with them right next to you while they're passive, but once you hit them, you won't be able to sleep. Ouch, my head! Anvils will damage any player or mob that it falls on. However, wearing a helmet reduces this damage by 25%. Be cautious though, this protection comes at a cost, as the helmet loses twice as much durability compared to other armor pieces. You can break Minecraft's character limit. If you've ever signed a book in Quill, you might have noticed that you can only fit 16 characters in the title. But there is a way around this. You can put the same book into an anvil and name the book up to 50 entire characters long. The one downside of this method is that the book title will be italicized after getting put through an anvil. Did you know that if you walk up to a panda and hand it over some bamboo, it'll sit and munch it down? This is different than most other animals that just instantly eat the food right out of your hand. Everyone knows wither skeletons attack using a stone sword, but if you spawn one holding a bow, it'll shoot fire arrows. The bow is not enchanted. The wither skeleton is somehow just shooting flaming arrows. Will placing a pumpkin on an enderman stop it from attacking you? When you wear a pumpkin, it covers your eyes, allowing you to look directly at endermen without without provoking them. But what happens if you use commands to put a pumpkin on an Enderman instead? Unfortunately, this has no effect. The Enderman will still become aggressive if you look at it. With 4 honey bottles, you can craft a honey block. And interestingly, you can also revert a honey block back into honey by combining it with 4 empty bottles. This feature stands out because you can turn 9 nether wart into a nether wart block. But you can't turn that block back into nether wart. When you Riptide Trident into an entity, it'll do the same damage as a melee attack hit, which is already pretty powerful. But here's a secret trick. As you launch yourself, quickly switch to your sword. Now you're charging at mobs with all the enchantments of your sword, like Fire Aspect and Sharpness. It's the closest you'll get to a Fire Aspect Trident, especially since sword enchantments can't be applied on them. The only downside is that this method uses up durability on both your trident and sword, so use it wisely. In older versions of Minecraft, you could only craft red beds, so it didn't matter what wool color you crafted the bed with, you'll still get a red one. One upside was that you could even mix different wool colors in the same recipe, which doesn't work anymore. However, in version 1.12, different colored beds were finally introduced, and now you can craft all these kinds. Clouds add a lot of atmosphere to Minecraft. However, if you look at them through stained glass, the clouds will actually disappear. End portals are hot! If you place ice near the end portal structure, the ice will stay frozen. But once you place eyes inside of the frames, the portal will actually emit light and melt the ice. Bubble elevators are one of the best ways to transport quickly upwards, but once you reach the top, you'll be bobbing up and down, which can be a little jarring. Luckily, all you have to do is add a few scaffolding blocks, and next time you go up the bubble beam, you'll make a smooth landing at the top. Everyone knows that spiders are able to climb walls, but have you ever wondered if they're able to climb the world border? The border isn't a physical block, rather. It just prevents you from walking any further. However, spiders are actually able to climb up the border, so you won't be safe building up here. When you shoot an arrow into a block or entity, you'd expect the arrow to get stuck inside of them. However, if you light a piece of TNT and then shoot arrows at it, the arrows will actually just bounce right off. If you're on fire and go into a cauldron of powdered snow, you'll get extinguished and the powdered snow will turn into water. However, if a burning skeleton is placed into the cauldron, not only will the powdered snow turn into water, but the water will also quickly evaporate. This happens because the sun continuously reignites the skeleton, rapidly depleting the water as it extinguishes the fire repeatedly. If you splash a blaze with invisibility, it'll just turn into a pile of smoke. You may know that pillagers can break their bows after using it enough times, and normally you'll use a shield to just tank all the hits. But this method is bad because you have to hold down your shield continuously for several minutes. A much easier method is just putting the pillager in a boat and getting in with it. This will cause the pillager to fire arrows while missing you, and after just sitting with your pillager for a while, you'll have a brand new peaceful pillager. Llama spit can be very annoying, but it doesn't do that much damage. If you're a psychopath and want it to be even deadlier, you can place fire in front of the llama. Now when it spits at players, the spit will actually catch on fire, making it much deadlier. When you open your creative inventory, you'll notice a compass tab that lets you search for items. But I bet you didn't know that the compass here is actually functional. I always thought it was just a decoration, but it'll point you towards the world's spawn point. What's the most poisonous food in Minecraft? The raw chicken comes in 4th place with only a 30% chance of causing hunger. The poisonous potato comes in 3rd place with a 60% chance. The rotten flesh has understandably an 80% chance. And the most poisonous food in Minecraft is pufferfish, which will give you poison 100% of the time. Applying bone meal directly to netherrack has no effect. However, if you bone meal netherrack next to either crimson or warped nylium, the nylium will spread to the netherrack. If both types of nylium are next to the same netherrack block, the transformation is random. The netherrack could turn into either crimson or warped nylium. Slime blocks are fantastic for bouncing you high into the air, but using a Riptide Trident, you're able to go much higher! You see, just by shooting your Riptide Trident down into the slime blocks, you'll bounce off the slime blocks super high. You can even make massive slime block parkour with this concept. When you place a firework on top of a pressure plate, it will actually press it down for a short moment. You probably know of the zombie villager jockey, but turns out you can convert the zombie with a golden apple and a weakness potion. Once it heals, you'll end up with an illegal villager riding a chicken. Most people think bone meal only works when you click the top part of grass. However, it also works when you right-click the sides of it and the bottom of the block. Darn it, I missed my ender pearl! Crossing outer end islands is very dangerous if you don't have an elytra. You either have to bridge over the void or toss an ender pearl to the next island and risk it falling short. Fortunately, snowballs have the same trajectory as an ender pearl. So try throwing a snowball first to see if it lands safely. Once you're sure, follow with your ender pearl to teleport across the void without worry. Look at this llama! It's wearing a bandit's mask! Or check out this other llama with an enderman design on its back. When you tame a llama, you're able to equip it with a carpet, and each of the different colors has a unique design. With how special these llamas all look, I just wish we could do the same for our other pets. If you lead a llama, up to 10 llamas will follow in a caravan. However, it's not just players that can create a caravan. When a wandering trader spawns in, it will have 2 llamas on leashes, and any nearby llamas will get into a line. So, make sure your llamas are close-up so a wandering trader doesn't steal them. Did you know villager raids can start in the end dimension? Most people think raids can only happen in the overworld, but this isn't the case. To create a village, all you need is 1 bed and 1 villager. Then if you get near it with the bad omen effect, a raid will occur, and pillagers will spawn for you to take down. However, this feature gets even stranger. If you create a village in the nether and then start a raid, nothing will happen here. So pillager raids only work in the overworld and the end. Ladders are really weird. If you place a ladder down against any block, it becomes paper thin. For a clearer view, try placing a ladder on a barrier block. What's crazy is that it's even thinner than its dropped item form. The same goes for vines, where you can barely even see the texture from its side. How does this boat have a banner on it? I promise it was made completely in survival. All you have to do is place your trapdoor, add your banner, back your boat up into position, and flip the trapdoor back up. Now you'll have a pretty sail for your boat. Everyone knows that striking a red mushroom with lightning turns it brown. But a lesser known fact is that if you strike a brown mushroom with lightning again, it reverts back to red. If you spawn a mushroom with lots of health, you can constantly make it swap from brown to red with lightning. Using a dispenser, you're able to put mob skills on piglins, and it looks hilariously broken. Due to the piglins' large heads, parts of their heads protrude from the sides of the mob skulls. The scariest look is achieved by putting a dragon head on a piglin. Get away from me! Corner glass panes are broken. When you press your body against the edge of it, you can actually reach on the other side and place blocks there. The same thing happens if you do it against an iron bar corner. Most music discs sound beautiful, but there's one disc that's hiding a dark secret. Disc 11. It sounds creepy with a bunch of eerie and static noises throughout the song. If you visualize the audio through a spectrogram, it'll draw out Steve's face, as well as the numbers 12418, which stand for the creator of the track C418. But that's not where the mysteries end. The track runs for exactly 1 minute, 11 seconds, and 111 milliseconds. Spooky! There's a way to break Minecraft's height limit, so it's impossible to place blocks above y equals 320. But there's a strange exception. Some blocks take up 2 spaces when you place them, like the door, rosebush, and sunflower. However, none of these break the height limit because they still take up 2 block spaces. But there's one block I found that works. Banners! They appear 2 blocks tall but only take up the hitbox of 1. If you're stuck in the nether with just a bed, you can actually use the bed to explode and activate a nether portal. This is one of the rarest endermen you'll ever see. Endermen are able to pick up blocks like cactus, grass blocks, and even mushrooms. However, in older versions of Minecraft, endermen had the ability to pick up netherrack as well. So if you're playing on an old world from these versions, you might just spot one of these uncommon endermen. If you break a tripwire hook, it actually plays the same sound as shooting a bow. For comparison, here's the sound effects side by side. I guess Mojang was just feeling lazy with this one. There's a way to get transparent map art! You see, if you create a map over the end void, the map will have a gray color over all the areas that are the void. However, if you place a layer of glass over this void, then take a look at your map, all the blocks will now be transparent. On top of this glass platform, you can now build things like plates of food, or even shelves with potions on them. One thing to note is that you'll have to place these map arts inside of an invisible item frame, or it won't work too well. This is playable Minecraft inside of a chest. There's everything from running across your world, breaking blocks, crafting items, and traveling through caves. This insane creation was created by Sethbling, and it works by taking a slice of your Minecraft world and rendering it inside of a chest. If you go into the texture file of an armor stand, you'll find 3 signatures. They're for Japper, Chi Wong, and Surge, who all helped either design or code the armor stand. This is a lens of truth. You can see through the wall only when you look through this lens. You can do this by first summoning a wall of block displays, and you can place barriers inside of them if you want to make it solid. Then summon a text display with a translucent background and invisible text as a lens. This works because entities, particles, and most transparent blocks don't render behind translucent entities. Upon spawning in this seed, you'll find yourself on a stunning island topped with a wooded badlands biome. and surrounded by deserts and stony shores. Remarkably, snow is even generated right next to the desert. As you explore the island, you'll discover a huge, lush cave filled with glowberries and hostile creatures. In the water surrounding this island, you'll find a coral reef and 2 shipwrecks near the coast. But what's even crazier is this pillager outpost that spawned at the top of a mountain island. It looks like a lighthouse overlooking the ocean. Check out these fireworks flying sideways. How is this possible? If you launch fireworks from inside a water stream, their trajectory will be altered. This technique allows you to create a spread-out firework display. Channeling tridents are great for electrifying mobs, but the main downside is that you might accidentally kill the mob. There's a solution though. Channeling tridents actually work on item frames. So next time you want to charge a creeper, just throw the trident at an item frame to safely convert it. Armor trims were introduced to the game in 2023. But what if I told you they actually existed 8 years before that? Minecraft Story Mode was a story-driven game, and one of the characters actually wore those blue-looking armor trims. Carved pumpkins all look the same. In real life, we're able to carve creative designs for all of our pumpkins. That's why you should use the Pumpkin Variation Resource Pack. It introduces 31 brand new textures for carved pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns. Now you can properly decorate your spooky build with unique pumpkins. An alternate rail design is having them turn like so. Building it is quite annoying because you have to manually angle each rail, but the final result is definitely worth it. Riding one of these will make you zoom by. But it's kind of ridiculous how far we have to go for faster rails. How fast can you die by the void in a new world? This seed has a ruined structure that generated low enough to replace some bedrock with netherrack, allowing you to mine straight down from spawn and reach the void in seconds. Rabbit stew is one of the most useless items. When you eat it, you'll regain 5 hunger bars, which may seem good at first until you realize that you would have gained more hunger bars by just eating the ingredients themselves to gain 6.5 hunger bars. It's a scam! Open the gates! In this setup, the city gates open when you blow a goat horn. It works by using a calibrated skulk sensor with a signal strength of 3 going into it, making only items being detected. Technically, you're able to throw a snowball to open the doors as well, but a goat horn is much cooler. Hitting silverfish will cause more to come out, so the best way to kill them is just by burning them with fire or lava. If you have lots of enemies, consider this seed, featuring enormous mountains that act as natural barriers against intruders. At the heart of these mountains is a peak perfect for overseeing any approaching threats, ideal for a fortress. But that's not as insane as this village, which generates partly inside of a cave. It'd be kind of cool as some sort of mining town with a minecart network going downwards. However, I just can't get over the fact that it looks like a nostril from above. But that doesn't compare to this crazy village that has buildings stretching from the valley floor all the way to the mountain peak. If you travel east through the valley, you'll find a second cliffside village. These mountain villagers are living the life. Stonecutters have a spinning blade on top, yet surprisingly, standing on it causes no damage. In contrast, if you stand on a campfire, you won't be having a great time. Ouch! Did you know you can spawn right on top of a woodland mansion? This seed spawns you right on the roof next to some dangerous mobs. If you're extremely good at combat, you could get some totems of undying, but it'll be pretty tough without any gear. However, if you just jump right into the ocean, you'll find a shipwreck with some iron gear you can use to take the evokers down. You can create a huge pathway of ice in an instant. It's done by combining Frostwalker boots with a Riptide trident. Aim the trident slightly downwards, release, and continue throwing it to maintain momentum. Now, I'm not too sure why you would want to do this, but it's a pretty cool trick. You can't enter your swimming animation in water that's only 1 block deep, which makes normal swimming very slow. However, there's a faster way to get across. Hold an empty bucket, look down at the water, and continuously hold the right-click button. This method lets you almost run across the pond. If you want to get every wood type, you'll typically need to travel across your world. However, in this seed, you'll spawn right onto an island with almost every type of wood, from swamps, jungle, and even acacia. The only wood missing from this island is cherry, but considering you spawn here, I still think it's a very good seed. There are even 2 ocean monuments right by the island. This is the deadliest potion in all of Minecraft. It's so strong that it'll instantly kill any mob and make it not drop any items. The potion can even kill players that are in creative mode. So what is it? You may think it's something like instant harming, but it's actually the opposite. It's an instant health potion with potency level 125. If you throw the potion at yourself, you'll respawn with all your items deleted for some reason. This seed uniquely combines lush caves, mine shafts, and lava pools. To find it, you just have to dig straight down from where you spawn, and you'll find this beautiful hanging mineshaft. There's even a spider spawner nearby, so make sure you don't get hit off. Whoops! Create a lighting system in Minecraft that mimics the sun during the day and the moon at night. Building it is pretty simple too. Just have a few of the lamps powered on permanently, while the others have daylight sensors on top to activate during the day. When you activate a piston, check out the extended region. In Java Edition, the extended region looks fairly normal, but if you activate the piston in Bedrock Edition, you'll see that the piston rod looks a lot chunkier. This world is unlike any other, featuring end pillars in the overworld, expansive grass plains, towering mountains, and vast oceans. Endermen are the only mobs that naturally spawn here. To create this unique environment, customize your world settings to a single biome world and select the end as the biome. There's an illegal way to travel through block gaps without crawling or flying. If you ride on a pig, you're actually able to go right through it. However, you'll end up suffocating while doing so. It's a strange feature how the pig can just force you along with it. If you use a lever on the side of a piston in Java Edition, the lever will break. In Bedrock, the lever works perfectly fine. If you're tired of boring stairs, try these. It's a staircase made out of just water blocks, and you can swim right through them. However, I'm not quite sure if this is a water slide or water staircase. What do you think? Moving animals can be tricky without leads, but there's a workaround. Light the animals on fire and then place water in their destination area. The burning animals will pathfind directly to the water to extinguish themselves. But make sure your mobs have enough health, or you'll just be getting some cooked pork chops. You probably know that in Java Edition, dripstone can be shot through the end portal, and the next person who loads into the end will be hit by the dripstone. However, if you try the same thing in Bedrock Edition, the dripstones will just crack upon hitting the end portal and turn into item form. Do you think you can open this chest? In Java, you're able to open chests with half slabs on top perfectly fine. However, for some reason, you can't open them in Bedrock. The more you trade with villagers, the more trades you can unlock. Bedrock villagers are slightly better than Java ones because they show the next level trades you'll unlock. Struggling with the Wither? An easy way to defeat it is by spawning it under the end fountain, where it can't escape and will suffocate. For faster results, use fireworks, which add damage and help it die quicker. Everyone knows you can ride a pig, but how about a dragon? In the one block at a time update, when the dragon perches, you can jump on and steer it around. To bring the dragon to the overworld, simply ride it into the void, and you'll be teleported straight into the sky. Now you can fly through your world on a literal ender dragon, or just use it to grief your friend's house. On Java Edition, the impaling enchantment deals extra damage to aquatic mobs like guardians and squids. However, on the Bedrock Edition, it's a lot more powerful. The impaling enchantment does extra damage to all mobs that are touching water, not just aquatic mobs. So you can just place down a water bucket and deal tons of damage to all the mobs. It's overpowered! Pillagers usually destroy villages, but in this seed, the tables are turned. On this seed, a village generates completely inside of a woodland mansion, and notably the blacksmith too. His lava source ends up catching the woodland mansion on fire and burning up the entire thing. Everyone knows you can bone meal crops to grow them quicker, but did you know bone meal can be used on flowers as well? Doing so will make a flower item drop each time you bone meal it. The feature works on all kinds of flowers, and is one of the simplest farms you can make with just a dispenser pointed at a flower. When you open a book in Java, you flip through it one page at a time. However, in Bedrock, you read books 2 pages at a time, which mimics how you would typically read a physical book. Although this is more realistic, I prefer Java's single-page books because it's a bit less overwhelming. Prank your friends with a fake death screen. If aligned perfectly, it looks surprisingly realistic. However, make sure you build it properly because even a slight misalignment will completely ruin the illusion. If you only have one elytra, how do you share it between 2 players? Have the player with the elytra lead a pig. The second player can then saddle the animal and mount it. This way you guys will both be flying with a single elytra. The pig can also be exchanged out for a llama or even a strider if you prefer different animals. In Minecraft, only 3 blocks naturally generate across all dimensions. The first is bedrock, which appears at the bottom of the overworld, the top of the nether, and on the end pillars. The second is obsidian, found in ruined portals both in the overworld and the nether, as well as on the end pillars. The last block is the chest, which is present in various dungeons and structures in all dimensions. In the one block at a time April Fool's update, you can pick up and throw certain mobs, but that's not the coolest part. Holding onto certain mobs will give you superpowers. For instance, clutching a cave spider lets you climb vertical walls, while possessing an illusioner enables you to shoot arrows. Holding a magma cube grants fire resistance, and pigs magnetize you, pulling you towards blocks above. My personal favorite, holding a chicken allows you to flap through the sky. This has quickly become one of my favorite travel methods. Pink sheep are usually rare, with a 0.164% chance of spawning. However, on this seed, every herd will include a pink sheep, making them surprisingly common. In Java, name tags don't work on armor stands, but in Bedrock, they do. You can even name it Dinner Bone to flip the stand upside down. If you point a dispenser at a villager, you can actually equip it with mob heads. trays. It looks kind of goofy, but it's actually pretty useful. You can use different heads to mark how good the trays of the villagers are. Zombie heads can be put on the trash villagers, and dragon heads can be put on the best ones. For a sea adventure, try this seed where you spawn directly on a pirate ship. It's an ideal location to set up your starter base. How is this lamp turned on? It looks like it has no power source, but if you look on top of it, you'll find an item frame powering a pressure plate. You're able to place a pressure plate on top of an item frame, and when you step on it, the item frame holds the pressure plate down. But if for some reason you want a ton of alloys, this seed has a whopping 58 all located at spawn. They're located within the pillager outpost and woodland mansion that generated right next to each other. In real life, all objects fall at the same speed due to gravity. However, in Minecraft, this rule doesn't apply. For instance, if you drop a sand block at the same moment you jump off a cliff, you'll notice that you reach the ground much faster than the sand block. This seed spawned you on a skull island. You're placed on top of a beautiful desert mesa with plenty of trees and even a village to get a head start. There's even a camel here. However, none of this is the coolest part. When you look at the island from the side, you'll see the skull, and when you head into one of the eyes, you'll find a lush cave that spreads throughout the island. In Bedrock Edition, when you hold out a piece of food, animals eagerly and quickly approach you. In contrast, in Java Edition, if you walk slightly too fast or move a bit too far away, the animals quickly lose interest. Are you kidding me? I'm right here! Wall blocks are normally used to build a fence for animals. However, they actually make good blocks for walls too. When placed next to glass panes and iron bars, they'll connect smoothly. If you're looking for thinner walls, this is your best bet. In Java, super flat worlds come with structures like villages and strongholds, allowing for survival possibilities. But in Bedrock, you can get an option to toggle flat worlds. These lack any structures, making long-term survival nearly impossible. Additionally, Bedrock flat worlds offer no customization options. You're limited to flat grass. Meanwhile, Java Edition features a variety of amazing presets for super flat worlds. The Ender Chest gives each player a private storage system, but it wasn't always like this. When it was first added in Snapshot 12W21A, the same Ender Chest inventory would be shared by the entire server. Gold farms are perfect for getting loads of experience and gold, but you'll also get a bunch of useless swords. They're pretty pointless on their own, but if you smelt them down in a furnace, you'll get a single nugget of gold. Well, not much. Over time, it'll add up, and with auto crafters, you can even craft them straight into full ingots. Silk Touch is more useful in Bedrock. In Java Edition, path blocks always drop dirt when broken. Even using a Silk Touch shovel won't work on it. But in Bedrock, Silk Touch actually works, and you can pick up the path blocks as items. If you're being chased by phantoms, never jump into the water. Phantoms surprisingly ignore the water and can glide right at you. Ah! Help me! Throwing a snowball through fire in Java Edition won't harm mobs, but in Bedrock Edition, these flaming snowballs will set mobs on fire. To utilize this, place snow golems inside fire cages, and they'll shoot flaming snowballs at all hostile enemies. You can craft a brand new golden chest plate, but if you smelt it down, you'll only get back one golden nugget. This happens no matter the durability or the enchantment, which is kind of a scam. I can't believe you can do this! In Bedrock Edition, you're able to emote, and there are tons of different dance moves to choose from. You can access the emote menu by pressing B, and by default, you'll have these emotes unlocked. Unfortunately, if you want more, many of them cost mine coins, so most of us will just have to stick to the simple emotes. Bedrock Chat is much more annoying to use as it covers up the entire screen when trying to type something. The only upside is that there are buttons for quick commands. Java Chat, on the other hand, is pretty clean and minimal. It's impossible to place torches on honey blocks because they're slightly smaller than a full block. Well, unless you're playing on Bedrock Edition where you somehow can. Jumping, punching the air, and dropping items will all play unique sound effects in Bedrock Edition, but in Java, those actions make no sound. Boo, you stink! Dogs in Bedrock Edition are able to be fed seafood like cooked tropical and pufferfish. However, Java dogs are a lot more picky and refuse to eat seafood. With the /ride command, you can get on top of any mob. This lets you ride entities you normally can't, like villagers or even bees. However, I don't recommend riding a warden. They'll blast you right off. Although this is a pretty cool feature, unfortunately, you can't control the movements of these mobs once you're mounted on them. That's much scarier in Bedrock Edition. When they shoot a fireball here, their eyes actually glow. In Java Edition, their eyes merely turn red without any glow. You don't scare me! Each time you bite a cake, a small portion of it disappears. So by stacking a bunch of eaten cakes up like so, you can create a working staircase. Climbing up it is pretty slow though, but if you use a horse, you can soar right up the stairs. Don't hit llamas! If you accidentally hurt one, it'll spit and hurt you. Even if you're on peaceful mode, the llama will spit at you. When a llama spits at you, there isn't much you can do in the Java Edition. However, on Bedrock, you can actually rebound the llama spit back. It doesn't make the most sense, but I love the feature. Wool and carpet can only be used as furnace fuel in Java Edition. This means you won't be be able to use a carpet duper to get infinite fuel while in Bedrock. However, Bedrock's furnace has its own advantages. It can use a beehive as fuel, while Java can't. Okay, that's not that good. How do you craft a hoe in Minecraft? I craft mine with the items going towards the left of the sticks to match the hoe design. However, having the item to the right of the sticks also works, but should not be allowed. The same goes for the axe, where both methods work, but one of them is clearly the right way. The Totem of Undying used to be terrible! When it was initially added, if you fell into lava and died, the totem would activate to save you, but you would immediately die to the flames again. Fortunately, in 1.16.2, this was changed so you get 40 seconds of fire resistance when the totem pops. Much better. In Bedrock Edition, if you place a fish on slime blocks, the fish will start to bounce super high. However, if you try the same in Java Edition, fish will still bounce, but not just as high. Ruined portals are naturally found across your world. But did you know that a completely functional portal can spawn too? On this seed, a ruined portal spawned inside of a woodland mansion, causing fire to spread and light the portal. You may know the blue axolotl has a 1 in 1,200 chance of spawning in Minecraft, but did you know the blue variant isn't found in real life? It was introduced into the game following a suggestion from Reddit user Dark Ice Flame, and is supposed to be a reference to the water Pokemon Mudkip. When you kill the Ender Dragon in Bedrock, the dragon dies right where it took its final blow. But if you kill it in Java Edition, the dragon will fly to the top of the end fountain. How quickly does a hopper transfer items? A hopper can move 9,000 items per hour, or 150 items per minute. Although this might sound fast, it's relatively slow for most contraptions. This transfer rate often leads to clogs and storage machines that rely on fast item movement. Darn it, my machine broke again! If you're looking for the ultimate cave, this seed's got you covered. Close to spawn, you'll find these shattered caves filled with glowberries. You can continue down the cave and even find an ancient city. A fun project you can do is placing some glowberries in the top part of the cave, and you'll create what looks like a giant monster face. In survival mode, speed potions only go up to level 2. However, if you use commands, you can give yourself speed 255. Just taking a single step will make you whip past the world. When you move this fast, you can run over huge chasms without even pressing jump. You'll also move so quickly that you'll go over 1-block gaps even while holding down crouch. Be careful not to run too quickly though, or your world chunks will have trouble keeping up. A super quick way to extinguish candles in Java Edition is with water bottles. However, this doesn't work in Bedrock no matter how many bottles you throw. This mangrove swamp generated in the middle of a desert, and this desert generated in the middle of another mangrove swamp. What we have here is a recursive biome, and I think it's pretty cool. How do you create a randomizer in Minecraft? Unfortunately, since the copper golem lost the mob vote, we're not getting a random button presser. However, there's a simple workaround. Place an observer next to a sapling. The observer will detect whenever the sapling attempts to grow. For more frequent random outputs, use multiple saplings. Make sure to have a block on top though so the sapling never fully grows into a tree. Before bubble columns and slime blocks were added, how did players build elevators? You'll only know this if you're a veteran. Although very difficult, elevators were primarily built out of pistons. You'd get pushed up all the way to the top by them. What's great about these elevators is that you can even press a button to go back downwards. Okay, I like this more than water columns. Most players fish by using a rod or attacking with a sword. However, this overpowered method is even better. Using firework rockets, you can take out large groups of fish with a single shot. It's super effective and is basically just dynamite fishing. While it makes sense that netherite armor doesn't fully protect you against lava or fall damage, what doesn't make sense is that the same armor can't shield you from something as simple as a berry bush or a prickly cactus. The armor is literally made of diamonds and netherite. Glass blocks can be used to change the color of the beacon beam, but what's even better is that you can add in different colored glass panes to mix the colors. So when you mix, combine, and blue glass, you'll get purple. In total, there are over 12 million possible beacon color combinations you can make. Contrary to popular belief, dispensers can place certain blocks. They can place pumpkins to spawn golems when the right structure is in place. However, if the snow blocks are just out of reach like so, the dispenser will still place the pumpkin, even though it won't spawn a golem. If pistons push a block, that block ceases to be a block for a moment and becomes a block entity. So if you push something like glowstone, it will momentarily stop emitting any light. This is a magic button. It's not connected to any blocks, but when you press the button, a firework gets launched into the air. Hidden beneath the carpet are the redstone components and a clock mechanism that detects when the button is pressed. Did you know you can use honey to write secret messages? Just wax certain copper blocks so the blocks around it oxidate and the message is left. The downside is that it takes quite a while for the message to reveal itself. If your inventory is completely full but you need to carry one more shulker box, a creative solution is to give a fox a shulker box and put it on a lead. Just remember to keep some berries on hand so you can retrieve the box axe from the fox. Otherwise, you might have to use your sword. Sorry! Everyone knows there are two types of flames in Minecraft. So a cool addition we can add into our houses is a fireplace that changes colors. Pistons are used to swap the blocks underneath the flames from netherrack to soul sand. It lets you easily change up the atmosphere of your house with the flick of a switch. When breeding sheep of different colors like red and blue, the baby sheep's color will be a mix of both parents' colors. Sprinting is broken in Bedrock Edition. When you go into third person, you'll see that you have stiff legs when sprint jumping. It looks pretty odd, but I prefer the Java running animation a lot more. My inventory is completely full of cakes. This is because in Java, cakes can only be in stacks of 1. However, if we switch over to Bedrock, cakes can actually stack up to 64. Okay, I might switch versions now. Help! My house is on fire! Fortunately, in Bedrock Edition, if it starts raining, the fire will be extinguished very quickly. This is because Bedrock rain instantly puts out fires. Conversely, in Java, rain also extinguishes flames, but it does so much slower in comparison. But what's even stranger is spawning on this massive island mountain in the ocean. Here, you'll even find some trees at the top, so you can get materials and progress without leaving the island. For a cool build project, you can hollow out the inside of the mountain and transform it into some kind of tower. Boats on Soul Sand can jump up to 1.5 blocks high when a player is riding them. However, if you place blocks like trapdoors or fence gates above the water, the boat can achieve a jump of 2 blocks high with a player on board. This mechanic allows us to create higher boat jumps that climb upwards. The banner pattern item is essential for customizing banners, but it can be challenging to organize them as they all look the same. To address the issue, a texture pack was created which has unique designs for each of the banner patterns. The texture pack makes it a lot easier to tell them apart. Did you know foxes in Bedrock are stronger than the ones in Java? Bedrock foxes have 10 entire hearts, while Java foxes only have 5. You're too weak! Charged creepers have a secret ability in Bedrock Edition. You can actually look through their glowing aura, and you'll be able to see through water and ice. Good luck trying this in survival though. But the farthest known spawn from 0.0 actually happens on version 1.12.2. The game searches throughout all these tiny islands, but since they're mostly covered with sand, the game keeps searching for a good spawn until placing you here, thousands of blocks away from 0.0. You probably know that sprint jumping is quicker than normal sprinting, but to make it even faster, try sprinting with blocks overhead, as it drastically increases your speed. Next, replace the blocks beneath you with blue ice to further boost your speed. For an optimal setup, place trapdoors on the top blocks to lower the ceiling, maximizing your sprint jumping capability. This tactic will even let you jump over huge chasms. The blue axolotl has a depressing secret. You may know that it has a 1 in 1,200 chance of spawning. This number has an actual meaning. Scientists estimated that in the entire real world, there are only about 1,200 wild axolotls left. Breaking mob spawners is a huge mistake. You only get a few experience orbs. The spawner is way better being transformed into a mob grinder where you can farm unlimited mobs. Everyone knows water and lava creates cobblestone, but something strange happens here. The lava is just running into a wall and somehow cobblestone is forming. This is because cobblestone can strangely generate even when the lava touches the backside of a waterlogged stair. Village houses all look the same. They're all so boring, but not this one. A desert temple generated perfectly inside of a house, creating this beautiful masterpiece. As an added bonus, if you check out the bottom of the desert temple, you'll find yourself an enchanted golden apple. As you head upwards this mountain, you'll find this strange terrain. There are protruding spikes coming out of the ground. You can use these spikes to practice wind charge jumping from one spike to the next. Did you know you could get command blocks in survival mode? Well, sort of. You can use map arts to create what looks like illegal blocks, such as command blocks and bedrock. These map blocks aren't functional, but they're a great way to shock your friends. Sea pickles produce more lights the more you have stacked together. 4 sea pickles in the same block will actually produce more lights than a torch. In Java Edition, you use a shield by holding down the right-click button. However, in Bedrock, you must crouch to activate the shield, which can be quite cumbersome. Despite this, Bedrock Edition offers a unique advantage. When you ride a horse, the shield is automatically held up, providing protection without any additional action required. Enchanted golden apples in Bedrock Edition are actually stronger than the ones in Java. Java apples only give regeneration 2. However, in Bedrock, they give regeneration 5. That's so overpowered. Everyone uses fireworks with an elytra, but there's something even better. Riptide Tridents. Riptide Tridents, when used with an elytra, are an incredibly powerful duo. They send you flying through the sky at high speeds, making rockets almost unnecessary. It's a great way to soar across the Minecraft world. However, it'll need to be raining for you to use a trident in the sky. If there are too many entities in a small area, they'll start to cram and take damage. However, the entities also push against each other and build up a ton of momentum. So by cramming a bunch of boats into a single block like this, you'll create a knockback machine. Even slightly touching the boats will send you flying. It's an incredibly fast travel method, but probably not the most practical because all those entities lag your game a lot. The heavy core is supposed to be used for crafting the mace, but when you place it into a reinforced deep slate, the lines perfectly fit. Do you think this is a coincidence? This is an infinity room. Looks like you're floating completely in a white void. The room was made using white-colored maps and placing them all around the walls and floors inside item frames. However, you can also create these infinity rooms in different colors, like purple or even black. Imagine trapping your friends in one while they're AFK. They'll be super confused when they return. This is a working escalator. It utilizes honey and water blocks to push you upwards. Okay, you've got to be super lazy if you use this instead of just walking up the stairs. Did you know minecarts can travel on water? On the Bedrock edition, you can send a minecart towards a bubble column and it will zip along surprisingly quickly. It's a great way to make your roller coasters much more exciting than the classic rails. In the Java edition, this method also works, but the minecart tends to slow down over time. However, there's a trick to keep it moving. Place a boat inside the minecart, and now the boat can efficiently ride on top of the bubbles. It's too good! We all know pistons can push blocks, but did you know that they can break them too? If you rapidly toggle a piston with a gravity-affected block like sand on top, the continuous movement can eventually cause the block to break. If you get shot by an arrow in Java edition, the arrow will get stuck to your player model. You'll even start to look like a porcupine with all those arrows. However, in Bedrock, the arrows don't attach to the player, and you just take damage. If you want a super detailed rug, you can use custom map art to create these unique designs. Or if you want a custom wallpaper, try hanging maps on your walls. My house is so special. When you kill a fish, it'll drop a fish item. However, they actually can drop another strange item. Salmon, cod, tropical fish, and pufferfish will have a 5% chance to drop bone meal. So if you're dedicated enough, you can create a bone meal farm out of just fish, but it'd be very inefficient. For those planning to build a castle, this seed offers a natural advantage, a steep moat surrounding a central island, perfect for constructing a grand castle. Plus, if you happen to fall off, you might land in the dripstone caves below. The witch's hut might appear simple, but it's hiding a dark secret. In every witch's hut, a black cat will naturally spawn. But that's not the strange part. If you spawn cats here in creative mode, it will result in only black cats spawning. How is this possible? Well, most pirate ships are completely destroyed. Somehow on this seed, a pirate ship spawned without any damage. It's just floating above the water, ready to set sail. Across the waters, there's even a zombie village for you to explore. But if you want a harder challenge, try this desert island seed. You'll spawn on an island with no trees and only a desert village. To survive here and get wood, you'll need to trade with villagers and wait for a wandering trader to spawn with a sapling. When you spawn with this seed, you'll find yourself on top of a mangrove tree, with a desert village unusually located right next to you. Remarkably, this village is generated in the middle of a vast mangrove swamp. On this seed, you'll find a huge mountain with cherry trees surrounding it. Traveling around the mountain, you'll even discover a hollowed out area filled with dripstone. But that's not the craziest part. At the very top of the mountain, you'll find a pillager outpost overlooking the area. There's a way to fly into the sky using boats. Place a shulker in a boat and leash it. The shulker will keep firing bullets at you, causing you to float upwards, and the boats will come along with you. It's an unusual but effective way to ascend. Zombies can occasionally break down wooden doors, and if you don't want to use an ugly iron door, there's an easy solution. Just invert the placement of your wooden doors. Zombies are programmed to break only the external side of a door, so they won't be able to break through an inverted door. To ensure your door is inverted correctly, open the F3 debug screen and check that it says Open True, or the door is visually closed. Now you can rest easy knowing zombies won't be barging in. Chainmail armor is almost impossible to craft. While we have access to chain items, Mojang hasn't enabled their crafting into armor. Luckily, a developer coded this mod, so if you really like chainmail armor, this will let you make it. This piglin is being tortured. Pathfinding in Java Edition prevents it from going through the rails to reach the gold. However, Bedrock piglins have smarter pathfinding and will just walk right over the rails. Grindstones in Bedrock need a supporting block or it'll break. A cool trick we can do with this is create a long line of grindstone and then break the supporting block to send them all crumbling down in a chain reaction. This one block of water can provide unlimited food. That's because even just a single water block is enough for you to catch fish using a rod. So if you're ever starving, just place down your water bucket and go fishing. In real life, squids, tropical fish, and dolphins are saltwater creatures, while axolotls and turtles live in fresh water. However, in Minecraft, all these species can live in the same type of water. I guess all the mobs just adapted since there's no salt in the game. While you may have seen super tall village houses before, I bet you've never seen this. It's a completely floating village house. The villager who lives here won't even be able to enter his house. This is the most beautiful cherry blossom biome. It's surrounded by snowy mountain ranges and even has a village in the center. On the side of the mountains, there's a ruined portal, and below it all is a mineshaft. It's the perfect seed to live in. The max render distance in Java Edition is 32 chunks, which is already quite impressive. However, in Bedrock Edition, the max render distance is a staggering 96 chunks. To put this into perspective, you can see the outer end islands from the main island in Bedrock Edition. This seed has something wrong with it. If you head to these coordinates, you'll find an ice statue that sort of looks like an Among Us character. You can also try this other seed, and the mountains here will also form something suspicious. This trial chamber has a stronghold generate directly into it. The various stronghold and chamber rooms intersect to form a labyrinth that's way harder to navigate. It's a pretty nice seed if you're looking for a challenge and a rare phenomenon. This is what a bed looks like in Java, and this is what it looks like in Bedrock. Java beds have a 3D texture, while those in Bedrock have a 2D texture. Which one do you prefer? Before boat chests were added, pro players found a workaround. They would attach a chest to a llama and then place a llama in the back of a boat. It served a similar purpose to the boat chest. It looks a bit funnier. Ladders are way too slow. A much faster way to ascend is by using a minecart elevator. It's similar to the minecart line, except made vertical. To ascend, right-click to hop from one minecart to another. If you prefer, you can replace the minecarts with boats for a similar effect. In Java Edition, a simple way to take no damage from cactus is placing a carpet on top of it. While in Bedrock, the carpet won't protect you, and you'll still take damage. This is a working chair. You're actually able to sit down on it. It seems impossible, but it's made by putting a saddled pig under a trapdoor. To hide the saddle, apply a dinner bone name tag to it to flip it over. Whenever you create a new world, you spawn somewhere around 0, 0. However, on this seed, when you spawn in, you'll be thousands of blocks away from 0, 0. This unusual spawn point is due to 0, 0 being located in the middle of a vast ocean, surrounded only by mushroom islands. Consequently, the game searches extensively and eventually places you on an iceberg far from the origin. If you place lava down, it will light up the surrounding area. However, trying the same thing with magma blocks won't work so well. Even though they have magma in the name, it somehow doesn't produce any light. If you travel roughly 30 million blocks away from spawn, you'll find the world border in Java Edition. In contrast, Bedrock Edition does not have a fixed world border. Instead, the game world starts to deteriorate the further you travel from spawn. When you reach 524,000 blocks, movement becomes jittery and difficult to control. Paintings break and can be placed on top of each other onto solid blocks. At 4.1 million blocks, you can no longer move on the ground. Movement is only possible by flying, either with an elytra or in creative mode. At 8.3 million blocks, entities less than 1 block wide, like pigs, will fall through the world. Larger entities like camels remain unaffected. Textures of blocks such as bells and stonecutters also break. Finally, at 16.7 million blocks, you'll be at the Stripe Lands, a highly corrupted area of the world. If you go to the corner Stripe Lands, it'll even look like a sky grid. If you're constantly getting lost in caves, there's a simple solution. Place torches on the right side of the wall. So now when you're trying to find the exit, you can just follow the left side torches. Finally, I'm out! I'm tired of purple shulkers. Luckily, in Bedrock Edition, you can dye a living shulker to any color you want. I like red, but trying to dye shulkers in Java is impossible in survival, and you'll end up just getting a few bullets to the face. Why can't Java have this? In Java, when a baby horse grows up, it instantly transforms into the adult variant. But Bedrock horses are a lot more realistic. Horses gradually increase in size as they age until they reach full adulthood. Are you playing Minecraft too much? Well, you may need this. A parent used commands to lock your world, and the only way to get out is by solving a math problem. What's even cooler is that this was made with just a single command and requires no resource packs. Someone help me with this math problem! In Java, armor stands look like this, but in Bedrock, they have functioning arms so you can display your hard-earned weapons. However, that's not even the best difference. By shift-clicking an armor stand in Bedrock, you can change its pose. Alternatively, you can also change the pose by powering the armor stand with redstone. The pose you get depends on the redstone signal strength. Minecraft physics are lame, so this user created a working physics sandbox all using commands. It features realistic water and sand physics, and you can even draw borders within the sandbox. I have no idea how someone would even begin to code something this complex, but I love it! This is the fastest horse you can get in survival Minecraft. It zips around the environment at super speeds. To get it, you had to type the secret code, "How do you turn this on?" in the 2D shareware April Fool's update. Once you spawn the horse in, you could easily just update your world to the latest version. Now, while an elytra is still faster than this, I prefer the horse since we can actually explore the land as opposed to just flying over it all. If you try to push a chest or a furnace with a piston in Java, they won't budge. But in Bedrock, tile entities can actually be pushed. I'm so jealous. In the texture files for Minecraft's Elder Guardian, you'll find that Jeb, one of the game's developers, has signed his name onto it. Boats are are great for traversing large bodies of water, but did you know they work even better on ice? Boats travel at incredible speeds when gliding on ice. You can construct pathways of blue ice in the nether to speedily move between locations. In Java Edition, if you throw an invisibility potion at a shulker, the outer shell becomes invisible, revealing the creature inside. However, if you try the same thing in Bedrock Edition, nothing happens. It's immune to invisibility. Waterlogged banners and signs are more visible underwater in Bedrock Edition. The text is clearly visible here, but trying the same things in Java won't look as good. The banner can't be waterlogged, and the text blends right in with the water. But if you're looking for a breathtaking cliffside, this seed is a must-have. It features one of the prettiest cliffs I've ever seen, decorated with 2 waterfalls. Atop the cliff, a hush bamboo forest beautifully contrasts with the rugged story peaks. It's the perfect spot to build an impressive house and watch the sunset. Plus, if you're in need of some company, just head down the mountainside to find a peaceful village ripe for exploration. Before heading to the end, most people bring 12 Eyes of Ender to activate the portal. However, each portal block has a 10% chance of being pre-filled, which means there's a 1 in 1 trillion chance for a portal to be fully activated from the start. Like with this seed, instant damage heals zombies and instant healing hurts them. So I always thought regeneration hurt zombies and poison healed them. But turns out both those effects don't do anything to them. Please add this, Mojang! Bedrock Edition used to have 2 secret mobs that didn't exist in Java. The first was a giant rabbit, which could be summoned using commands. This rabbit was over a full block tall, making it look quite goofy when next to normal rabbits. The second secret mob appeared when you summoned a tamed wolf. When you dyed it, the entire wolf would change colors instead of just the color. This seed features an ocean monument that spawned directly into a stronghold. The Elder Guardian inside prevents you from mining any part of the stronghold, forcing you to navigate it like a typical Minecraft adventure. Harming potions are overpowered in PvP because they bypass all armor. But what's even more overpowered are tipped arrows of harming. Each of these arrows will deal instant damage too, and the bow doesn't even have to be fully charged, so you can rapid fire harming them and still do loads of damage. You can even kill someone in full netherite gear in only 2 harming bow shots. This is not fair! Minecarts can't move if you place a block like this, but if you place the block directly onto the rail like this, then the minecart will pass through the block. Like casting a fishing rod in Bedrock Edition, you'll notice something interesting. The bobber is actually a 3D model, while in Java, the bobber is only a 2D texture. However, that's not the only way the Bedrock fishing rod is better. Its durability is 384, while the Java rod is only 64. This is so unfair! In Java Edition, if a charged creeper blows up multiple mobs, you'll only get a single skull from all of them. However, in Bedrock, every mob blown up by the charged creeper will give a skull, making them much easier to farm. This is a tiny chessboard. It's made using the Immersive Portals mod and shrinks down an entire board to fit on a single oak log. Although the pieces aren't functional, you can make the villagers and pillagers fight using commands. It looks super epic and is definitely my favorite decoration. Don't step on this TNT minecart! This is because it's not just 1 but hundreds stacked into this one block. You're able to cram as many TNT minecarts as you want into a single block, and when you touch it, the TNT minecarts will all go off together and launch you light years into the sky. It's not a practical way to travel since you have to get loads of sand, gunpowder, and iron for the TNT minecarts, but if you're in creative, it's a cool experiment. If you hit 1 zombie pigman, all nearby ones will become aggressive and charge at you. But what's interesting is that if an angry pigman dies, they'll drop experience points, even if you didn't touch that one specifically. This mechanic is crucial because it allows us to create fully AFK gold experience farms. Hardcore only exists in Java Edition, but this is actually a good thing. Bedrock is filled with glitches that cause the player to randomly die. Imagine losing your hardcore world due to a glitch. If you use a fishing rod on a mob in a boat, you can actually reel it out in Bedrock Edition. It's a great way to get mobs out of boats without accidentally hitting them when you meant to break the boat. By cramming a bunch of chickens into a closed area, splashing them with a wind-charged potion, and then killing them all at once, you can be sent soaring into the sky. What's great about this method is that, unlike TNT, the initial launch doesn't cause any damage to you. When you place a conduit in Java Edition, it hovers slightly in the air. In Bedrock Edition, the conduit will be flush with the ground. When you use slime blocks and pistons to launch a boat straight up, it creates an unusual glitch. The boat falls back down in an odd bouncing motion as if it's hovering mid-air. It's not a huge bug, but it makes boat wave machines impossible to build. When you eat a cake, the hitbox slightly changes shape. Each cake has 7 slices, so you can stack a bunch of partially eaten cakes on top to create a super steep staircase. Walking up it is very slow unless you've got a horse. It can zoom right up the stairs and is one of my favorite ways to travel. Minecraft stairs really don't make any sense. Somehow crafting 6 oak blocks turns into 4 stair blocks, even though each stair block is actually 3/4 the size size of a full block. So, what's Steve doing with all that extra wood? Circles are illegal in Minecraft. They should not exist. Well, unless you're a coding master. Because YouTuber Command Geek actually created a data pack that lets you easily create circles in the game. To create one, just hold a name tag in your offhand that's named circle and hold your block of choice. Once ready, just sneak and your circle will instantly generate. You can even fill it up with water to create a pond. Or if you want to completely break Minecraft, hold a name tag called sphere and then shift to create a perfect sphere all without any mods. Most players know that furnace minecarts can push other minecarts, but a surprising twist is that it can pull them too. To do this, just make sure the minecarts are close enough to the furnace cart, then fuel it up. This setup allows the furnace minecart to pull multiple minecarts behind it, even uphill. However, make one turn and the entire train system will come undone. Okay, this is useless. Ever wondered what a village would look like without houses? Well, this seed actually has one. There's a few hay bales and path blocks, but not a single house in sight. If you're looking for a safe place to build, consider settling on this mushroom island. It's absolutely massive, spanning over 1,500 blocks in each direction. If an enderman is pressed against a wall, you can shoot an arrow at it and the arrow will phase through the wall. The enderman doesn't have to be in a minecart either. Just right up next to the wall and the arrow will magically travel through. Did you know the appearance of Minecraft XP orbs has changed over time? Originally, when XP orbs were introduced, the textures were completely solid. However, in update 1.15, the texture was modified to be slightly transparent, giving them a more magical look. Instead of throwing your trash downwards, how about bouncing them straight upwards? This bouncy trash can reveals a slime block that pushes your trash straight into lava above. Did you know there's a way to get infinite dirt? I'm not talking about just digging it up with a shovel or using TNT. Instead, you can trade with piglins to get gravel. Combine 2 dirt and 2 gravel to get 4 coarse dirt. You can then till the coarse dirt to convert it back into normal dirt. Although this method is slower than digging, it's a useful trick if you're looking to create more blocks. Minecarts are great for transporting entities across your world, but there's a way to make them even better. If you put a boat in a minecart, you'll get a 2-person minecart. This way you'll be able to control it while carrying the mob behind you. While you can't water clutch in the nether, there's an alternative that's just as good. If you place a boat and get inside, you'll negate all fall damage. The timings are difficult to master, but it's a lot better than just dying from fall damage. As an added bonus, if you have a lot of boats, you can use boats to skip across large lava pools. Bedrock offhand slot is useless. Only a select few items can be placed here, such as shields, tipped arrows, the totem of undying, and maps for exploring. On the other hand, in Java Edition, you can put any item you want in the offhand slot. In Java, you're able to ride boats near lava. However, don't even think about it on Bedrock because doing so will cause the boat to take a ton of damage quickly and break. To activate the conduit, you need to surround it with at least 16 prismarine blocks, which will reveal a blue heart in the center. However, if you place up to 42 prismarine blocks around it, the range of the conduit's effects will increase from 32 to 96 blocks. When fully maximized, the heart in the center opens up and changes to a yellow color, resembling an eye. A clever way to hide a button is by placing it behind a banner. The banner will completely cover the button from view, yet it remains fully functional. Use this setup to activate an ultra-secret door. By constantly alternating the time from day to night with commands, you'll make villagers dance in and out of their beds. Unfortunately, on Java, the villagers don't react quick enough to create the same effect. Rideable mobs like horses and llamas can naturally regenerate hearts, but it's very slow at a rate of 2 hearts per minute. However, one mob that regenerates extremely quickly is the allay. They regenerate 2 entire hearts per second, and it's so fast that it can't die from drowning, powdered snow, or even suffocation. You're too powerful! Move quicker! The slowest naturally spawning horse runs at a top speed of only 4.74 blocks per second. That's slower than a sprinting player. However, when you breed 2 fast horses together, there's a chance their offspring will be even faster than both parents. By continuously breeding the fastest horses, you can eventually create the fastest natural horse, which runs at 14.23 blocks per second. In Java, you're able to spawn shulkers below the void to create a walkable void base. But in Bedrock, this isn't possible, and mobs can't be spawned below Bedrock. This is a coral farm, and it generates 72,000 coral per hour. The mechanism operates only in a warm ocean biome. This is because in these biomes, applying bone meal to an underwater block has a chance to spawn coral. While it's hard to imagine needing this much, it's great to have the option. Have you ever noticed something peculiar when filling up a composter? If you look closely, the texture inside the composter is actually the same as Podzo. Talk about a reality check. If you're trying to convert your grassy lands to a snowy forest, don't manually place the snow layers. Instead, you can save so much time by using snow golems. Just spawn a few in and drag them across your fields using leads. Enslaving snow golems is much quicker than placing the layers one by one. Help! Mobs keep spawning in my base! If you're having trouble finding dark areas that need more torches, try setting your brightness to moody. This will make it easier to spot the areas that need more light to prevent mob spawning. If your campfire goes out, you can actually use a flame bow to reignite it. This feature works on both normal campfires and soul campfires. Would you want to live on this seed? It spawns you right on top of a massive island. Nearby, you'll find a village that starts at the top of the cliff and extends downwards towards the ocean. The villagers here have no chance of making it back up. As you explore the island, you'll also discover a vast exposed cave. This cave is so enormous that you can transform it into your very own base. This line of stationary minecarts gives us one of the fastest traveling methods. The minecarts themselves don't move. Instead, by aligning your crosshair and rapidly right-clicking through the line of minecarts, you can travel extremely quickly. The speed of travel depends on how fast you can click, making an auto-clicker a useful tool to zoom through the line. This seed is truly special. It generated a glitched end portal, with only a part activated due to its placement on a chunk border. This unusual occurrence tricks the game into activating just 1/3 of the portal. Although this mesa biome looks perfectly normal, when you check inside of it, you'll notice it's completely hollow. The inside can be filled with torches and turned into an amazing base. As an added bonus, at the edge of the biome, you'll find a giant hush cave that leads into an ancient city. Heading towards the bottom of this ravine, you'll find a witch's hut. It's standing right on top of a lava pool and has the world record for the deepest witch hut in Minecraft, going all the way down to y=5. Unfortunately for the witch, after a while the hut will end up burning up due to the lava, and both the cat and the witch will die. This seed boasts a 60-block tall woodland mansion, which is impressive on its own, but inside you'll find a village, a ruined portal, and even a half bed, all within the mansion. Trapdoors used to be very annoying. In older Minecraft versions, if a trapdoor was placed at the end of a ladder, it'd be very difficult to get out of. Mojang fixed this by making trapdoors climbable when connected to a ladder. However, this also created a crazy bug. You're now able to create these strange ladder trapdoor combinations that you can actually climb. If you summon a ton of items in Bedrock Edition, it won't look very special. It'd just be a pile of loot. But if you do the same thing in Java and then reload your world, the item stack will look extremely satisfying. I need this in my life. In Java, the fishing rod can be used to hook and reel items towards you. But in Bedrock, fishing rods don't work on items. When you die, any items with a curse of vanishing will be deleted. This may sound pretty terrible at first, but it can actually be strategically useful. If you don't want your enemy to get your items after killing you, just apply Curse of Vanishing to your important gear, and you won't have to worry about it being stolen. When you press escape in Bedrock Edition, it doesn't actually pause the game, so a creeper can still blow you up. This feature is one of the most annoying aspects of Bedrock. While you might not think of lava as a safe place for items, it can actually serve as an excellent hiding spot. Storage blocks like chests and barrels don't burn in lava. Therefore, hiding them within a lava pool will make them nearly impossible to discover. This is an illegal door. It was made using a debug stick in Java Edition. Unfortunately, if you want to do this in Bedrock, it won't be possible because the debug stick exists only in Java. If you're going to war, consider turning your boat into a battleship. Maneuvering a boat while shooting a bow is challenging, but fortunately, a boat can accommodate 2 passengers. You can place a witch in the boat with you. The witch will not attack you, but will instead throw potions at external targets. Alternatively, you can substitute the witch with a guardian, which will shoot laser beams at nearby players. This is a sunset in Java, and this is what it looks like in Bedrock. With these 2 sunsets side by side, we can see that Java has a longer sunset, while in Bedrock, it gets dark quicker. The crossbow has a durability of 465 in Java, but in Bedrock, it has a durability of 464. I have no idea why they're different by 1. When you're mining, avoid throwing your items on the floor. If a zombie picks up even a single item, it won't despawn. Eventually, after doing this for a while, you might end up with a cave filled with zombies. What will happen if you activate this end portal? There are pistons protruding into the portal area, so will they break the game? In Bedrock Edition, the extended pistons actually prevent the portal blocks from forming, resulting in an illegal end portal. However, if you attempt this in Java Edition, the portal will simply break the pistons when it activates. Most people know that charged creepers can be used to get a skeleton skull. However, what's lesser known is that this actually works on wither skeletons as well. A charged creeper will drop a wither skeleton skull 100% of the time. Finding a tall cactus is pretty rare. Sometimes you can even find a 5 or 6 block tall cactus, but how about a 23 block tall one? This seed has the world record for the tallest naturally generating cactus ever found in Minecraft. Cauldrons are a million times better in Bedrock. Not only can they be used to store potions, but you can also right-click with arrows to tip them. This method is so useful that I don't even know how to craft tipped arrows normally. I wish Java had this. I love this seed! And I mean it, because the snowy mountains form a giant heart. Aww. Inside of the valley, you'll even find a nice village you can live in. Water and fire normally don't mix, but how about ice and fire? In Java, you're able to light ice on fire to melt it down. However, in Bedrock, it's actually impossible to light the ice on fire, which I guess makes sense. Dolphins in Bedrock Edition have a hidden detail most people will miss. They produce small bubbles behind them as they swim, while Java ones do not. In Bedrock Edition only, you're able to ring a bell by dropping an item onto it. Did you know diamonds and turtle eggs have something in common? If you check out the outline of both the items, you'll see they have the same exact shape. Mobs in Java aren't able to pathfind over rails, which means hostile mobs won't cross them to attack you. However, in Bedrock Edition, mobs are programmed to be smarter. They can easily walk over the rails to reach you. When a mob drowns, notice anything strange? Instead of bubbles appearing near the head, they appear below at the feet. Does this mean mobs breathe through their toes? When you craft stairs, something strange happens. Somehow, 6 blocks of wood equals 4 stair blocks, which doesn't add up since each stair isn't a full block. I guess Steve is just really wasteful with his wood. Instead of using plain ladders, use waterlogged ladders instead. They're faster than using ladders or water alone because they combine the benefits of both swimming and climbing. This lets you ascend much more quickly. You may know that the Frostwalker enchantment creates frosted ice beneath your feet that melts away after a few seconds. However, this ice actually melts due to sunlight exposure. At night or in areas blocked from sunlight, the frosted ice remains indefinitely. Using this mechanic, you're able to combine a stone generator with a frosted ice generator to create this automatic ice tunnel builder for rapid boat travel. The end features floating platforms about 4 to 8 blocks tall. However, in this seed, you'll find 4 end platforms stacked on top of each other to get a 26 block tall end pillar, which is the world record. My redstone contraption is ruined! In Java, when redstone components come in contact with water, they break. But in Bedrock, certain redstone components like repeaters, tripwires, levers, and buttons actually function underwater. You're able to make some fully underwater redstone circuits without worrying about things breaking down. One of the simplest farms you can create is a snow farm. To do this, simply build a snow golem by stacking 2 snow blocks and adding a pumpkin on top. Once your golem is in place, mine the snow layers that form beneath its feet. This method provides an unlimited supply of snow. If you mine with your fist, no items will drop. However, Bedrock Edition has a surprising twist. You can actually break furnaces, blast furnaces, and smokers with just your fist and still obtain the item. What's even crazier is the fact that you can mine an enchanting table, which is made out of obsidian, with your fists, and the item will still drop. If you try the same thing on Java Edition, just air will drop as usual. Bedrock skins are way cooler. You can purchase skins with custom models, modify specific body features, and even use skins with animated textures, like a portal base. However, while this is all cool, in Java, you don't have to pay to customize your skin. Well, I think that makes it better. In Java, you may be familiar with the chicken jockey. However, Bedrock Edition takes this concept further with an additional 20 jockey types. In Bedrock, 15% of naturally spawned baby zombies have the capability to mount a variety of mobs, including pandas, cows, sheep, and even other adult zombies. Some of them look pretty cursed. In versions up to 1.19.2, large sinkholes could randomly appear in the terrain, creating spectacular landscapes. One notable seed features a spruce village uniquely situated at the bottom of a sinkhole. Nearby, you'll also find an igloo with a basement that's visible underwater. In Bedrock Edition, if you give an armor stand a glass block, you can actually use it to see through water and ice. Make sure to use night vision to clearly see through the ocean depths. This contraption can also be used to see through honey and slime blocks, allowing you to see what's going on the other side of a sticky wall. In Java, if you summon an armor stand with arms and give it a glass block, nothing special happens, and everything will render correctly. Check out my colored maps! They're possible to obtain in completely vanilla Minecraft. That's because when you give yourself a map item, you're able to specify the color of the map that you get. My favorite is this red one. One of my favorite features of Java Edition is the ability to switch to older versions. However, good luck doing that in Bedrock because it's not possible. When you breed any 2 mobs together, you'll unlock the Parrot and Bats achievement. But have you ever wondered why it's called that? Well, the reason is pretty ironic since both parrots and bats are both impossible to breed. This isn't an ocean monument, but an ocean city. When you travel to 00 on this seed, you'll find 4 ocean monuments all next to each other. The seed is honestly quite satisfying to look at because of the different ocean biomes separating them. If you open a barrel barrel, you'll see a black texture inside. But it wasn't always like that. When the barrel was first added to the Bedrock Edition, there was an unused texture called fish barrel, so we almost had different barrel types in the game. It'd have been pretty cool to see a barrel full of whatever items are inside. Java and Bedrock's combat systems are completely different. In Java, there's an attack cooldown, so players have to wait in between hits. But in Bedrock, players can just spam hits because the cooldown system will be awkward on mobile devices. Additionally, this also means sweeping edge attacks don't exist in Bedrock, so players will still have to kill mobs in their mob grinder one by one, while Java players can take them out hastily. Don't step on this carpet. It may look safe, but hidden underneath is a fragile turtle egg. A single wrong step could cause the carpet to break, sending you crashing downwards. Shadows are broken in the Bedrock Edition. If a mob is standing on top of a slab, the shadow will actually go through the block. The shadow can even be cast on top of lava. In Java Edition, you can sleep in a bed completely submerged by water. However, in Bedrock Edition, the bed gets waterlogged and you can't sleep in it. When placed on its side, a warped stem looks like the same texture as a warped hyphae. However, when you look on a map, you'll see that they show up as different colors. Using this feature, you can create hidden messages that can only be seen using a map. When you feed animals in Bedrock Edition, you can see crumbs of the specific food appear at the animal's mouth. While on Java, you won't see any difference no matter which food you use. If you were to travel to these coordinates on this seed, you'd find one of the best naturally generating hosts with Fortune 3, Efficiency 5, Unbreaking 3, and even Mending. This is a pretty nice home. The only thing that's missing is a netherite upgrade. There's a way to travel millions of blocks in an instant. You may think I'm talking about the /TP command, but that's not it. It's by using an Ender Pearl stasis chamber. You can travel anywhere in the world, and once you're ready to return home, just have a friend activate the trapdoor and teleport you back. Or if you want to make an automatic one, set up a daylight sensor so the trapdoor will be automatically flipped whenever it turns night. A chunk loader will have to be built here as well though to keep the redstone loaded. Most players think netherite weapons are the strongest, but they're not even close to best. End crystals are way more powerful because they can blow up your enemies in seconds. However, due to their overwhelming power, many survival servers ban end crystal PvP, as they render traditional weapons like swords almost pointless. This is the most illegal looking island ever. You'll find a village, shipwreck, an ocean monument, and oh yeah, a literal stronghold that's combined with the villager's house. This seat belongs in a museum. You probably know that certain blocks like stairs and candles can be waterlogged. However, in Bedrock Edition, you can also waterlog end portal frames, bells, beds, beacons, pistons, and even doors. The doors in particular are a problem because they can't be used as an air pocket when you're about to drown. Did you know dolphins are much deadlier in Bedrock Edition? If you accidentally hit one, all nearby dolphins will swarm to attack you, similar to how zombie pigmen behave. In Java Edition, if you hit a dolphin, their response is less aggressive. To create an infinite water source, you typically need at least 2 buckets of water. However, in the Bedrock Edition, you can achieve this with just one. This is due to a special feature in Bedrock. When water flows into a cauldron, it fills up, allowing you to scoop up water repeatedly. In contrast, in Java Edition, flowing water cannot fill a cauldron. You must directly fill cauldrons with a bucket of water. If you look closely at Steve's face, you'll notice that he blinks every few seconds. But it's not just Steve. All the other official Bedrock skins are able to blink too, and it's kinda cool. This is an infinite parkour world. A Reddit user coded it because he was feeling bored. It's amazing how every single jump is possible, yet difficult. If you try it for yourself and suck at parkour, there's even an easy mode you can switch to. I love the sleek animations of new jumps being added, but that's not as strange as these grids of trees. If you create a world in 20W28A, all birch forest biomes would generate trees in this strange grid-like pattern. On Bedrock, if you're looking for skins and maps, you'll have to use a marketplace and pay real money for them. But Java, on the other hand, has free skins and maps that you can just download for free from the internet. Get off my chest! If a cat sits on top of a chest, you won't be able to open it. I said get off! If you want a ton of loot, you'll love this seed. 10 blacksmiths spawn all in the same village, which is actually the world record. The villagers will probably put you on a hit list for robbing them all though. Never mind nether gold. Doing so only gives you a few nuggets. Instead, use a pickaxe with the Silk Touch enchantment to mine the ore, and then smelt it in a furnace. This method will produce a full gold ingot from each ore, maximizing your returns. A super simple flying machine can be made with just a few observers, pistons, and slime blocks. This machine is great for moving across your world while AFK, but make sure to be on peaceful mode or phantoms will hunt you down after a few nights. But if you want something a lot faster, you can build this contraption. It set the record for the fastest flying machine, traveling at 5 blocks per second. You should definitely buy this if you're planning to travel long distances or if you're being chased by enemies. In Java, the advancement menu is pretty confusing with all the advancements branching off, but Bedrock has a cleaner UI. It shows the percentage of achievements you've completed and other potential achievements you can accomplish. Underneath this cave is something you'd least expect. Somehow, a desert temple generated 80 blocks beneath the surface. You can even transform this place into a secret bunker. On this seed, you'll find something extremely rare. If you go underground at these coordinates, you'll find a spider, skeleton, and zombie spawner all connected in the same dungeon room. This room even has 5 chests for you to loot. Changing game modes in Java Edition requires you to type out the full mode name, but Bedrock Edition simplifies this with abbreviations like S for survival and C for creative, which is especially handy on mobile devices. The plains biome is actually different between Java and Bedrock Editions. In Java, there's grass plants littered all across the plains, but in Bedrock, there's a lot less, and you can actually build here. Minecraft has unicorns? Well, sort of, because by equipping an end rod on your head, you look like a unicorn. If you get stuck on top of the nether roof without any items and in hardcore, how do you get out? There's actually a way out, and it doesn't involve any cheating. While you may think this is impossible, the solution is pretty simple. All you have to do is open your world to LAN so your friends can join and rescue you. But what if I don't have any friends? You're out of luck. When you spawn into this seed, you'll be on an island with 2 villages. While this may seem pretty normal, there's a dark twist. On this side of the island, you'll find a regular village, but if you fly to the other side, there'll be an abandoned zombie village. The chances of these 2 generating right next to each other are incredibly low. What's crazier is that by zooming out, there are actually 2 ocean monuments within swimming distance. Frogs are normally pretty rare, only spawning in occasional swamps. However, on this seed, hundreds of frogs spawn repeatedly across your world. Help, there's so many! If you cook raw beef in Java Edition, its name will be steak. However, cooking the exact same item in Bedrock Edition will result in a different name: cooked beef. When you get mining fatigue, you probably know that digging anything becomes significantly slower. However, have you ever wondered what the effect icon represents? If you think it looks like a spoon, you're actually right. It symbolizes how slow mining becomes, as if you're practically digging with a spoon. Wither skeletons hold stone swords, but if you use commands to give them a bow, they'll shoot flaming arrows at you even if the bow is unenchanted. These guys are hacking. When you use a bed in the nether, it'll explode. However, if it's nighttime in the overworld, villagers can still sleep in the nether. This isn't fair. Why are trees upside down here? I didn't place those there, but they naturally generated like that. In Snapshot 18W06A, a bug caused some trees to generate flipped over. It's a bizarre sight that defies explanation. Finding a trial chamber is a pretty rare find, but finding a corrupted one is way rarer. The chamber on this seed generated inside of a deep dark biome, and there's sculpt covering some of the walls. Sculpt catalyst blocks even spawned inside of here. You can create a server-wide newspaper using maps in Minecraft. Just hand them out to players, and whatever you build in the map area will update on all the maps you handed out. This method is particularly effective for communicating with players in survival mode. It's being used on the Anarchy server 2B2T, where players distributed new maps. However, they often had their newspapers griefed, so be careful! Telebridging is one of the hardest bridging methods. It involves sprinting, jumping into the air, and then quickly turning around to place blocks behind you as you move forward. However, what's even harder is doing this on a horse. Pro player Teddy Nater was able to achieve this, and I can't imagine how long it took to master. This seed has no end stone. The main end island on this seed completely fails to generate, and there are just the obsidian pillars. You better have brought a lot of blocks to pillar across the void, or you might lose your hardcore world. Even if you somehow manage to kill the dragon, your luck won't be improving. The end portal partially generates below y=0, where blocks can't be placed, trapping you indefinitely. Did you see the mushroom island? Yeah, me neither. But if you press F3, you can clearly see that this is a mushroom field biome. So this right here is the smallest mushroom island possible, since it's made of 0 blocks. If you switch to Bedrock Edition, you can even see the mushroom-colored water, but no island. These twin islands contrast each other perfectly. The first, a jungle island, is lush with bamboo and features a ruined portal alongside a stunning cave entrance. The second, a mesa island, is encircled by a warm ocean, decorated with vibrant coral reefs around its perimeter. Additionally, there's exposed gold on the surface that's ready for mining. This next seed spawns you on a medium-sized island with tall mountains, waterfalls, and even horses you can tame. Looking at the island from a certain angle makes it look like a dragon's head. It'd be a cool challenge trying to survive here. The bottom of a barrel looks similar to a spruce plank, making it an excellent option for secret storage. You can cleverly hide barrels among your spruce floor, and then place placing a bed on top, or even just putting a few barrels underneath your chest. While intruders might raid your visible storage, they'll likely overlook the true valuables hidden right beneath them. Did you know it's actually possible to trap a phantom in a minecart? It looks pretty weird inside of it, but that's not the only strange mob we can capture. Any non-mob boss is able to be placed in a minecart, and some of them don't even properly fit, like the Ghast, Sniffer, and even Ravager. Minecraft paintings are a great decoration, but they're static. For a more dynamic decoration, considering creating a pixel art map. Then by rotating the map inside of an item frame, you can simulate a stop-motion animation. The car looks like it's moving around the city here. Summoning a bunch of end crystals in Java Edition creates a visually satisfying stack. However, if you do the same in Bedrock Edition and then reload your world, the effect is even more impressive. The resulting pattern is so unique that it barely feels like Minecraft. This is a piston bolt. It uses pistons to quickly propel your minecart forward, making it one of the fastest travel methods. The piston bolt is particularly effective because the contraption also works diagonally and is great for traveling long distances. However, the main downside though is building it is super tedious since you need a ton of pistons and all the rails have to be angled just right. This isn't a zombie, rather it's a giant! It's only found in Java Edition and has to be summoned using commands. Not a single mob can spawn in this stronghold. You may think I'm on peaceful mode, but I'm not. The stronghold actually generated right under a mushroom island, making it mob-proof. Well, besides the pesky silverfish. If you look directly at the sun in Bedrock Edition, the sun gets slightly larger while the sky gets slightly darker. This visual effect was added to simulate how your eyes see extremely bright things in real life. Dying in Java Edition brings up a simple death screen. In contrast, Bedrock Edition features a dynamic zoom-out animation showing your character's last location. This will blow your mind. If you drop a tower of sand onto a cobweb and then push it with a piston in Java Edition, the sand blocks will just fall and transform into collectible items. However, in Bedrock Edition, something crazy happens. When pushed by a piston under the same conditions, the sand blocks move sideways, forming a massive, continuous line of sand. The smithing table used to look very different. Currently, it resembles a sturdy workbench. However, when it was first added in Snapshot 18W44A, the smithing table looked more like a reinforced crafting table. It must have seemed too similar, as the texture was updated in the following update to the version we're all more familiar with now. Skeletons are supposed to shoot you, but in Bedrock, if they're underwater, they'll melee attack you for some reason. Who coded this? While getting your boat crashed on the shore is somewhat understandable, this is inexcusable! Because this shipwreck somehow crashed on the side of a massive cliff. It's floating over 30 blocks above the sea. How does this even happen? With the introduction of auto-crafters, gold farms have become so much better. Instead of storing thousands of gold nuggets, you can now automatically compact them into gold blocks using the crafters. Most servers in Java Edition use the chest inventory as a GUI, but in Bedrock Edition, the GUIs are so much better. They have custom interfaces with custom icons. I can't see through the window! In Bedrock Edition, igloo windows are made of packed ice, so you can't see through them. However, in Java Edition, the windows are made of normal, transparent ice. I'm not sure which one I prefer though, because the ice melts when you use the furnace. If your friends are constantly showing off their water bucket clutches, a funny way to prank them is by replacing the floor with slabs. In a water MLG contest, using slabs will cause the water to go through the other side, catching them off guard. Be careful! The wither is a lot deadlier in Bedrock Edition than in Java. In Bedrock, it features a white spawning animation, while in Java, the animation is blue. The Bedrock wither also has 600 hearts, whereas the Java wither has only 300 hearts. Crawling lets you fit in a one-block tall space, but if you try to squeeze through a slab, you won't fit. This may seem reasonable, but if you use snow layers and stack up gradually, you can actually enter the same size crawl space. I'm feeling claustrophobic! There are many types of stones, like diorite, andesite, and basalt. However, oddly enough, we can't use these stones to craft tools. What's even more puzzling is that we can't make a stone pickaxe using pure stone blocks. Check out this tight gap! Trying to go through it by boat won't work in Java, but if you switch to Bedrock, you'll be able to row right through. While Minecraft offers a variety of default paintings for decoration, you can get even more creative by making custom paintings using maps. Building the map art will take a ton of time, but it'll definitely be worth it. My favorite is this map of Starry Night. Looks so pretty. If you summon hundreds of wind charges in the same spot and then step on them, you'll be propelled high into the sky. But what if I told you this was possible in survival? By using cobwebs and pistons, you can trap and collect a massive number of wind charges in one area. Pro player Hectorus used this concept to build this wind charge contraption. It's able to store thousands of wind charges at once and send you super far away. It doesn't take too many blocks to build, but trapping the breeze will be the hardest part. Ever wondered why Minecraft bees are so large? Each bee's hitbox is half a block in size. size, making them much larger than real-life bees. The Mojang team made bees this size because they thought larger bees looked cuter. However, we can spawn in smaller bees using commands and create a realistic bee swarm. When you use a minecart on a sleeping villager in Bedrock Edition, the villager will still be sleeping in the minecart. This is obviously a Bedrock-only feature because Bedrock is full of bugs. To tame a wolf, you'll need to feed it bones. However, once tamed, these wolves can no longer eat bones. They will still show the head-turning behavior they did when first tamed, but they won't accept any more bones. Did you know in the Bedrock Edition, if you hold out an emerald, villagers will show you what items they have to trade? Now I can immediately tell these villagers are all trying to scam me! Conduits are incredibly powerful. They allow you to mine quicker, see clearer, and breathe underwater. However, they also have a hidden ability. Conduits actually attack nearby hostile mobs. I had no idea that was possible. If building your own house is too much work, try this seed. You'll land on a pillager island complete with tents, iron golems, and a supply tower. Free the golems to help defeat the pillagers, and the beautiful island is all yours. Villages usually appear above ground, but this seed features a snowy village inside a literal cave. With all the zombies lurking underground, the villagers' survival chances are slim. In Bedrock, there's actually a first-person idle animation, so your hands move slightly up and down, while in Java Edition, your hands just stay completely still. On this jungle island, you'll discover not just one, but two jungle temples filled with diamonds and armor trims. If you zoom out, the mountain on the island resembles a volcano. We can add some lava on the top to make it look like it's erupting. This is ridiculous! In the Bedrock Edition, you can just place a block right in front of you to bridge. It's so overpowered here that one user is able to bridge while moving forward on a horse. Okay, come on! Wall jumping doesn't exist in Minecraft, but this is the next best thing. When wearing leather boots, you're able to safely stand on top of powdered snow. So with only a single powdered snow bucket and some boots, you're able to jump up this entire wall. Did you know you could use a fishing rod on a boat? But here's the twist. With precise timing, you can pull a boat towards you and hop in at just the right moment to fly. Travel to the outer end islands here, and you'll find just a singular city tower. That's more of an end house rather than an end city. Contrastly, on this different seed, you'll find a massive end society. You won't be getting lonely here, and it'll be worth a visit for how much loot you can get here. When you think of falling blocks, sand and gravel likely come to mind. However, in the Bedrock edition of the game, snow layers also behave like falling blocks. If there's nothing beneath them, they will fall straight to the ground. Do you see the button? It's right here. The stone button blends in super well with stone blocks. So if you're trying to hide a secret door, a great way to do so is just hiding it in plain sight. If you make your way above these mountains, you'll find the perfect place to build your base. It's enclosed by mountains and has a cliffside for you to stare at the sunset. On the side of the mountain, there's even a large cascading waterfall that heads straight into the central lake. Venture southwest over the mountains and you'll find a mountaintop village. Then if you dig down from the highest point of the village, you'll land right in the middle of an ancient city. While flying in Java Edition, once you stop pressing forward, your momentum will carry you a bit further. However, in Bedrock Edition, you'll immediately come to a halt. If you light an end portal with an end crystal inside of it, will the end crystal be teleported? Well, it's complicated. In the Bedrock Edition, the crystal will actually transport over to the end, but in Java, the crystal will just stay there. Stop leaving floating trees! To teach your friends a lesson, place an observer under a tree and fill the area below with loads of TNT. Next time your friend cuts a log, they'll be exploded to smithereens, but you'll also be left with a massive crater. This is a desert village in the middle of a Badlands valley. A village was somehow able to generate on this tiny patch of sand. With all the mines on the side of the village, it sort of feels like the Wild West. There are only two mobs that won't crush turtle legs. Naturally, the first is turtles themselves. The second, interestingly, is bats. This is surprising since even chickens, which might seem harmless as they flap downwards, will crush the eggs. Similarly, bees, despite only flapping their wings above the eggs, will also damage them. Will lava turn waterlogged blocks into stone even if they contain sea crops? The results will surprise you. In Bedrock Edition, lava transforms waterlogged crops into stone. In contrast, in Java Edition, lava appears to float above the waterlogged blocks. This feels illegal to look at. Most of the time, you'll spawn on a large area of land, but on this seed, you'll only have a few blocks and a tree. This seed is only for the best Minecraft players. In Bedrock, you're able to easily waterlog barrier blocks. However, in Java, attempting to waterlog a barrier block results in the water being placed adjacent to it instead. If you drop an anvil onto a slime block in Java Edition, the anvil will take damage. But in Bedrock, anvils won't take any damage from landing on slime blocks, which makes sense. This shulker box is actually a secret entrance. In Java Edition, if you open it while standing on top, you'll be squeezed down into a secret passage. However, this trick doesn't work in Bedrock Edition, where you'll simply be pushed to the side instead. This is an air bubble stream. It's a fully functional jet stream without any water or soul sand nearby. To create create it, build a regular bubble elevator. Block out the source blocks with powdered snow. And lastly, activate an end portal to destroy the soul sand at the bottom. This airstream is only possible on Bedrock Edition and is quite cool. TNT doesn't explode in the water, right? Well, sort of. In Java Edition, dropping sand on top of TNT makes it explode in the water. But the same thing in Bedrock Edition doesn't work. Traveling to the center of this ice lake, you'll find a massive sinkhole. But there's something down there that's even more interesting. You'll find a completely intact igloo that somehow hasn't melted away from all that lava. You may know camels can keep you safe from hostile mobs like zombies and vindicators, but did you know striders can protect you as well? They're just tall enough to protect you from baby mobs like baby zombies and pigmen. Tile entities like chests, furnaces, droppers can't be moved by a piston in Java Edition. The piston won't extend when activated. However, in the Bedrock Edition, the tile entities can actually be moved. Check out my bed setup! It includes a dispenser firing arrows right at the pillow. In Bedrock Edition, you can sleep undisturbed and wake up unharmed. But in Java, the arrows will hit you and wake you right back up. Please just let me sleep. This is one of the craziest seeds ever. It generated a woodland mansion, pillager outpost, and village all together in the middle of this lake. The second you load in this terrain, the pillagers will immediately go after and kill the villagers. There's also floating islands above, and a waterfall pouring down on the buildings. However, if you head directly below the lake, you'll see the huge foundations for the structures. And if you keep going down, you'll also find the stronghold. How is this pig falling so slowly? You can slow a pig's descent by quickly toggling a carrot stick on and off your selected hotbar slot. Each toggle resets the pig's momentum. However, make sure to hop off the pig right before touching the ground, or else you'll take a lot of full damage. The pig will end up dying either way if there's no water below. Ice spikes are hard to survive in because there are no trees and barely any food here. However, in this seed, a plains village somehow generated in this frosty biome. This makes no sense. When you eat food in Java Edition, there isn't much of an eating animation besides a few particles appearing near your mouth. But in Bedrock, you'll see your arm actually bringing the food to your mouth as you eat. Comparing the two side by side is really fascinating. It's no secret that powered rails aren't very fast. However, you can increase the minecart speed by placing rails in a spiral pattern like so. This setup makes the minecart travel faster because minecarts move quicker when turning. So by adding a bunch of turns, you'll move way quicker. I think I'm getting dizzy though. Never use coal to smelt. Well, 9 pieces of coal can smelt 72 items. Converting them into a single coal block allows you to smelt 80 items. So you'll be able to smelt 8 extra items by just turning it all into a block. It's so worth it. Chests are great for storing items, but they can't be opened if there's a block directly above. Instead, use barrels. Barrels are slightly cheaper to craft as they require 2 slabs in the middle instead of 2 planks, and they can still be opened even with a block on top. Just a couple hundred blocks from spawn, this seed features a picturesque lake bordered by a spiraling birch pathway. Below the lake lies a vast cave system, leading directly to a stunning mountain zone. These landscapes look amazing from above, and it gets crazier. Switch to version 1.19.2, and a sinkhole appears in the center of the lake. If you feed a parrot a cookie in Java, it dies instantly. However, in Bedrock, giving a cookie to a parrot will cause it to slowly die from poison. I even tried saving the parrot with healing potions, but it didn't work. This is because the parrots suffer from a special potion effect called Fatal Poison, which guarantees its death. In Bedrock Edition, if you shear a sheep named Jeb, its wool patches will keep changing color. But this cool detail doesn't exist in Java Edition. Tired of waiting for your furnace? Build an alert system with an observer block and note blocks. This setup will notify you once your furnace has finished cooking, ensuring you never wait too long for your meals. In Java, salmon look like this. They're all the same, but in Bedrock, salmon actually come in 3 different sizes. The different fish sizes make the oceans feel much more diverse. Most villages only have a single church, but not this one. This village has 8 entire churches scattered throughout the village. They must be doing a lot of praying here. To duplicate tall flowers, simply use bone meal on them, and the item will drop. This method doesn't work on small flowers in Java Edition. However, in Bedrock Edition, using bone meal on small flowers causes a flower type to spread around. Now I can finally farm tulips efficiently! Mangrove swamps typically don't spawn in the ocean, but this one defies the odds. It's formed right next to a desert village, creating an unusual yet fascinating combination. This is an invisible elevator. From the outside, it looks like the player is just flying upwards, but behind these map arts are honey blocks and the bubble column. The elevator works because honey blocks are slightly smaller than a full block, so your hitbox just slightly touches the water column. This is Minecraft's safest base by Carves, with 13 rings of deadly defenses, protecting a single castle in the middle. But it's not actually that good. With an elytra, you can just fly over the entire thing. Or if you consider that cheating, pro player Canadian was able to just run through the entire thing without breaking a sweat. Okay, this base stinks! If you can't turn on sounds, Java Edition offers sound subtitles that visually indicate nearby sounds. You can't sneak up on me, zombie! Have you ever noticed the strange water in savannah villages? The water is somehow just staying there without flowing. The reason why is actually pretty simple. It happens because savannah farms can generate in the same ways as village pathways. However, they don't adapt well to the terrain, allowing water to spawn without surrounding blocks. If you hold Alt while scrolling through the world options, you'll land on the debug world. Here you'll find every single Minecraft block and their various block states. You can even change your game mode and do some pretty cool survival challenges here. However, here's a mischievous trick. Tie the alley to a fence post, give it an item, and then drop the same item just out of its reach. The alley will keep trying to reach the item, but will never be able to get it. Just kidding, I wouldn't actually do that. If you light the ground on fire in Java Edition, the mobs will smartly try to go around it. In Bedrock Edition, the mobs will just try running through the flames, and they won't have too much luck with that. When Crying Obsidian was first added, it looks like this. However, the block ended up getting removed, and it wasn't until 7 years later that it got re-added with the texture we all know. Phantoms spawn when the player hasn't slept for 3 nights, but they surprisingly can't spawn in Mushroom Islands as well. However, be aware that as soon as you step out of the biome, if you haven't slept for those 3 nights, phantoms will spawn in. If you played Minecraft for a while, you might recognize this classic scene, a grassy hill with trees by the water. It's the iconic view from the famous pack.png image. What's crazy is that the exact seed was found after months of hunting it down. If you look very closely at the enchanting GUI in Java and Bedrock Editions, you can see that the Java enchanting book animation is slower than the one in Bedrock. I bet you didn't know that. When you spawn into this seed, you want to make your way up the hill because here, you'll find a village on top of the mesa terrain. Surrounding the mountain, you'll find a ruined portal, as well as a cute mushroom island nearby. I particularly like this seed because it's so colorful. Zombified piglins normally can swim in lava just fine, but if you put them in a lava cauldron, something strange happens. In Bedrock Edition, if you put the zombified piglin in a lava cauldron, it'll start showing the damage animation. However, it's not actually losing hearts. The animation just plays. This also happens to baby striders when you put them in the cauldron. The lava cauldron is a pretty unique way to torture mobs. When you dye a sheep in Bedrock Edition, not only does its wool change color, but its facial hair too. This is different from Java Edition, where the sheep's face remains white even after the rest of the wool is dyed. But that's not the only reason Bedrock sheep are better. After shearing a dyed sheep, the patches of hair left on the sheep still show a hint of the dyed color. This feature helps you identify the sheep's previous wool color. In contrast, in Java Edition, all sheared sheep have only white hair patches, which makes it impossible to distinguish their prior wool color. Normally, strongholds are hidden underground, but this seed is an exception. Here, the strongholds library is completely visible above water, making it easy to spot from the surface. Shipwrecks usually give some easy starter loot. However, you should be extra careful when entering this one, as it's lodged right into the side of a pillager outpost. You'll be shot from all directions trying to loot this. If you manage to defeat the pillagers, you'll be rewarded with 2 iron golems and 4 allays early in your adventure. If you get yourself a glass pane in Bedrock Edition, you'll notice that it has a 3D texture, whereas in Java, they have a 2D texture. While this may seem like a pointless difference, the 2D glass panes are often used to create a pretty GUI in Java. Moreover, in Java, the light gray stained glass pane appears almost invisible in your inventory, which can be used for pranks to make friends think their inventories are full. Good luck trying this on Bedrock. In Java, you can shoot arrows between the gaps of beds, anvils, grindstones, and cauldrons. However, in Bedrock Edition, the arrows will just get stuck in the blocks and float in the air. I never knew you could craft this. Normally, if you want to get stone blocks, you'll mine underground, but it turns out you can craft it too. Diorite can be crafted with quartz and cobblestone. Andesite can be crafted with cobblestone and diorite. But what's super strange is that granite can be crafted with quartz and diorite. Neither of those ingredients are red. If you want to ride a horse, you'll need to use a saddle, right? Well, not exactly. In only Bedrock Edition, skeleton horses are tamed by default and don't require a saddle to control. Placing lava on top of a block will cause lava droplets to seep below. But for some reason, the drops of lava aren't able to hurt mobs or catch things on fire. It makes no sense! A regular pumpkin won't work to create a golem in Java. But in Bedrock, normal pumpkins do work. Why does this difference exist? In Java Edition, wearing a mob skull has a tactical advantage. It halves the detection range of the same hostile mob type, making it harder for them to spot you. Unfortunately, this feature doesn't exist in Bedrock Edition, but it has its own unique perk. When you wear any type of head in Bedrock, you become invisible to other players on a locator map, which is a great tactic for hiding from your friends. You should never have fire near TNT. Well, almost never, because if you place a campfire on top of a TNT, it will look alarming. Yet it's perfectly safe and won't cause the TNT to explode. If you dispense Frostwalker boots at a villager, it'll surprisingly be able to use them. The villager will seem like it has superpowers. A super useful trick in Java Edition is to use a boat to kill Endermen because they can't teleport out. However, I don't recommend trying this in Bedrock Edition because Endermen can actually teleport out of boats here. Please don't kill me! Automatic chicken farms are incredibly easy to make and will provide you unlimited food. But there's a way to make them even more efficient. By trapping a fox near the farm and giving it a looting fire aspect sword, it'll make the chickens drop extra food and cook it at the same time. Tiger trees can be pretty annoying to cut down since you can't reach the top logs. A simple solution is to use doors. Placing a door lets you stack up 2 blocks high, making it easy to collect those pesky logs. When you're ready to get down, just mine the log underneath the door to break them both at the same time. Now you have no excuse for leaving floating trees around. Sugarcane is mostly the same between Java and Bedrock. However, one notable difference is that bone meal works on it only in Bedrock Edition. The void is far more dangerous in Java Edition than in Bedrock. The Bedrock void is covered by an invisible floor, so you won't endlessly fall. With regeneration, you can even walk along the void floor and fly out with fireworks once you're done exploring. But in Java, you'll just keep falling until you die. Not even being in creative mode will save you here. These ocean monuments generated right on the surface. When you load these chunks, you'll see that drown spawn here and instantly die due to being out of water. These structures are basically land monuments, and I kind of wish these generated naturally because they look pretty nice. Right next to them, you'll also find some structures in the ocean where they belong. Turtle eggs are super delicate. Even bees flying over them can break the eggs. In Bedrock, you can see the text on signs through the opaque textures of glass blocks. In Java Edition, glass blocks function as expected, and you can't see through the textured parts of the block. On this seed, you'll spawn right next to some of the biggest ice cliffs I've ever seen. The cliffs stretch so far that they even go out of render distance. This is the perfect spot for a cliff base overlooking the ocean. The Nether has a dark red sky, but I prefer the blue overworld one. To simulate it in the Nether, you can use bright blue maps to create a fake sky. Now you can feel a little bit more at home in this fiery wasteland. How am I standing inside this end portal? In Bedrock Edition, if you place fence blocks directly beneath the portal, you can stand inside it without being teleported. However, in Java Edition, attempting the same setup will result in immediate teleportation to the end. This is a shulker chest. It's made in 100% survival in the Bedrock Edition. To create it, simply push a shulker into a chest using a piston. This setup allows you to access all your items while providing a decorative touch. Plus, it's quite secure. The shulker can't fire bullets while it's contained inside the chest. This villager is stronger than most players. It's been equipped with netherite thorns armor using dispensers. You can also put mob skulls onto their heads that they can't take off. Unfortunately, trying the same thing in Bedrock won't work, and the items will just dispense to the floor. If you're playing on Bedrock, don't let water near your tracks because it'll completely destroy your rails. But if you're on Java, water's not much of an issue because rails are unaffected by water and can even be waterlogged. My Java roller coaster goes through the ocean. Snow golems don't spawn naturally. Well, they're not supposed to anyways. But there is a super rare occurrence that can cause them to generate. Enderman can pick up pumpkin blocks and theoretically place 1 on 2 snow blocks, creating a snow golem. But this occurrence is extremely rare. The higher you fall from, the more damage the mace will do. But what happens if you have the slow falling effect while using the mace? The slow falling effect will actually reduce the amount of damage done, because the final damage depends on the player's falling speed. Did you know that villagers can outrun players in Minecraft? Normally, villagers move quite slowly, but when fleeing from zombies, their speed exceeds even Steve's sprinting speed. Turns out villagers can be quite athletic when they need to be. Check this out! A minecart chest spawned directly inside a monster spawner. This rare setup occurred because a dungeon generated right into a mineshaft, placing the spawner directly on top of a minecart chest. The chances of a dungeon having this is roughly 1 in 4.8 million, as calculated by this Reddit user. Stop going through my portal! To prevent mobs from going through, place a cow inside a boat right in front of the portal. This setup blocks other entities from entering while still allowing you to squeeze through. If a shulker hits you into the air, here's the safest way to get you down. Now, you could try water bucket clutching, but if you have a slow reaction time, you'll likely die. Instead, just eat a chorus fruit and you'll be brought back to the ground. Did you know ocean temples are harder to beat in Bedrock Edition? In Bedrock, if you drink milk to remove mining fatigue while within range of Elder Guardians, the effect is instantly reapplied. In contrast, Java Edition allows you up to a minute free from mining fatigue after drinking milk, giving you a chance to mine through the ocean monument and even steal the gold without needing to defeat the Elder Guardians. If you head towards the end portal in this seed, you'll find that it was actually destroyed by an ocean monument. But that's okay, there are other strongholds. right? Well, this glitch happened on version 1.8.9, and in this version, there were only 3 strongholds per world. And when you head towards the other 2 strongholds, you'll find that they were destroyed by the ocean monuments as well. So this world is actually impossible to beat in survival. This is a baby villager in Java Edition, and this is what it looks like in Bedrock. Its head is so much bigger. Check out this floating jungle temple. You may think that I built it up here, but it actually generated in 100% survival on this seed. If I saw this, I'll think Herobrine was haunting my world. This is one of the longest mountain ranges ever. At the start of it, you'll find the jungle temple, and once you climb all the way to the top, you can build a house overlooking the rest of the valley. Transporting mobs can be extremely challenging. A useful technique in Java Edition involves setting the mobs on fire and placing water at your desired destination. Mobs on fire will instinctively run towards the nearest water source to extinguish themselves. However, this strategy does not work in Bedrock Edition, where mobs set on fire will just run around randomly instead. If a mob stands on top of a turtle leg, it'll crack. A few turtle legs can be set on top of each other to create a timer. Although we can always just use redstone, this turtle timer is a lot more creative. If you like TNT in this order, a heart-shaped explosion will form. However, this only works in Bedrock, and trying the same thing in Java will result in just a random explosion. The creative menu in Bedrock Edition is so much better. Items of the same type are put into expandable sections to not flood the creative menu. Additionally, you still have access to the crafting grid, so you can craft items while in creative mode. In Java, the organization isn't terrible, but I definitely prefer the Bedrock one. There's also no crafting grid here. Please add it, Mojang! Ocean monuments are typically found in vast oceans, but this seed places one inside a lake. It fits perfectly in the middle of a mushroom biome. How does this water exist? There aren't any barrier blocks or hidden tricks. The water is just floating there. To create this cursed water, place down slime blocks like so, and pour water down the top. Then plant seagrass at the bottom and use bone meal to make it grow 2 blocks tall. Once done, break the outer slime blocks, and surprisingly, the water won't flow out. You can even run lava into this cursed thing to create a cobblestone generator. In Java, if you want to see what potion effects you currently have, you just check your inventory. However, in Bedrock, your effects aren't displayed here. So, where'd you find them? Well, Bedrock actually has its own separate potion menu, which you can access by pressing Z. It shows all of your active potion effects and how much remaining time they have. I personally prefer the Java menu because a separate menu for this is not needed. This is my favorite way to travel underwater. If you get a dolphin on a lead and use Death Strider boots, you'll practically be an underwater torpedo with how fast you move. The dolphin is pretty hard to catch, but it'll definitely be worth it if you're frequently exploring the oceans. When exploring an ocean monument, you'll occasionally find a sponge room, which is pretty useful. However, when you spawn in on this seed, you'll find an ocean monument right next to you, which has 13 different sponge rooms. You'll never run out of sponges in this world. In Bedrock, you're able to push chests with pistons, so a cool trick we can do is splitting apart a double chest. It feels so wrong doing this though. For some reason, Bedrock Edition has a little dude in the top left corner. Besides showing what armor you're wearing, he's not too useful and is just chilling up there. When you explode falling dripstone, it actually causes the stack to split apart and fly into their own directions. This happens because each falling dripstone is treated as its own entity. Building natural-looking islands can be challenging. To achieve a truly natural effect, start with a giant patch of dirt and let grass and mycelium spread across it. Once they cover the area, remove the mycelium to reveal a beautifully natural island outline. Typically, clicking on a bed in Minecraft teleports you into it instantly. However, there's a way to trigger a sleeping animation. If you crawl into a space with a trapdoor and then click on a bed, you'll see a laying down animation. This effect, while not intentional, adds a realistic touch to entering the bed. Owie! Sweet berry bushes hurt you when you walk into it, but they can actually save your life. The berry bushes negate all fall damage when you land in them, so the bushes can be used to clutch. Have you ever seen those flipbook animations? Well, turns out you can make them in Minecraft as well. Draw your frames on each page. When you flip through the pages quickly, drawings will animate, bringing your story to life. When creating a staircase downward, avoid having a 2-block gap, as you'll bump your head each time you descend. Instead, just mine the extra block and install some stairs. This setup not only lets you travel up and down quicker, but also spares you the future headaches. If you step on this pressure plate, nothing will actually happen. It's a decoy. But if someone tries to remove it, the pressure plate will be picked up by a hopper minecart hidden underneath, which will then trigger a massive TNT explosion. I can't find any beehives! If you're struggling to locate the buzzy bees, here's how to spawn one in. Planting birch trees next to flowers actually increases the likelihood of a beehive spawning on it. Yes! Now I can enslave the bees to create a honey farm! I really don't like this feature. In the end, you'll notice some end pillars of iron bars protecting the crystals. However, the iron bars are barely even doing anything. If you just angle yourself correctly, you can still shoot the crystal. What's your favorite food? Steak, baked potatoes, or cake? My favorite is this pickaxe right here. This is possible by using Minecraft commands to give yourself a custom item with modified MBT data. You can also create items with custom stack sizes up to 99, or make a regular item act as a tool. Everyone knows that if you play a jukebox near parrots, they'll start to dance. But did you know that in Java Edition, parrots stop dancing once they land on your shoulder? In contrast, if you're playing in Bedrock Edition, the party doesn't stop. The parrots will keep dancing even while perched on your shoulders. Check out my dance moves! In Bedrock Edition, you can use /play animation command to dance, and you can apply it to other entities too. Like this ghast animation makes our bodies very big and head small, or this Enderman animation makes a player's head detach from its body. Eek! You can create floating lava using a specific setup involving pistons, redstone blocks, and slime blocks. Once you remove the blocks, the lava will be left floating in the air. The same method works for water. It's a unique trick you can do to surprise your friends. Check out this red oasis! You spawned right next to it on this seed, and it looks super unique. In Java Edition, you'll even find an azalea tree located on the sandy beach, indicating there's a lush cave directly below the oasis. Heading downwards, you'll find a super pretty lush mineshaft, as well as sloping water hills. This is illegal! My world looks beautiful! In Java, you're able to use mods like Iris to turn on shader packs and completely upgrade your game. While this doesn't exist in Bedrock, they have RTX mode instead. It's built directly into the game and can be activated with just a toggle. It doesn't look exactly the same, but it still looks good in its own way. If you name a rabbit Toast, it will change the rabbit's textures. But the reason behind this feature is actually quite sad. A Reddit user shared that he lost his pet rabbit named Toast about a week ago, and his family was really sad. He asked the developers if they could add his rabbit to the game so he could remember his pet each time he played. And the developers actually added it. Oh, that's so cute. But if you want to completely escape civilization, you need this seed. When you spawn in, everything seems normal. But if you just turn around, you'll see a tall, steep island with a vertical cliff face. At the top of the island, you can find lush jungle trees, along with a jungle temple! This is an obsidian boat. It was found in the Love and Hugs April Fool's update. Many players at this time wanted an easier way to cross large bodies of lava, so this new boat was teased. Unfortunately, the obsidian boat wasn't very fast, because it just sank right when you placed it in lava. It's made out of obsidian, for goodness sake! However, in the following updates, Mojang added striders so we can waddle across the lava. Mushroom biomes are usually one of the safest places in Minecraft because hostile mobs can't spawn there. However, in this particular seed, hostile mobs are present on the island. This anomaly occurs because the mushroom biome overlaps with other biomes where hostile mobs can spawn. Cobwebs have a unique feature only in Java Edition. You're able to place paintings on them and use them as secret entrances. Placing a painting on cobwebs won't work in Bedrock though. Do you like my house? It was built on top of the nether roof. However, this is only possible in Java because in Bedrock, the game won't allow you to place blocks up here. The bottom side of droppers make for quite a pretty floor design, and with so many of them on the floor, you can also hide your valuables in one of them. The chances someone finds the exact one with all your gear is extremely low. What happens if you activate this end portal with a nether portal inside? There's actually two possible outcomes. In Java Edition, activating the end portal will simply break the nether one. However, in Bedrock, activating the end portal will slice off the bottom part of the nether portal, yet it will remain fully functional. Squids have a superpower! In Bedrock Edition, a squid's tentacles show how much oxygen they have left. The longer they are out of water, the slower their tentacles move. After 15 seconds, they start suffocating, and their tentacles stop moving completely. In Java Edition, their tentacles move at the same speed regardless of their oxygen level. Campfires are commonly used to cook food, but they can also be used as a hidden switch. By placing an observer beneath a campfire, you can create a system that detects when the campfire is turned on or off. This setup can be used to control hidden doors, allowing them to open when you extinguish the campfire. Remember the old video of Herobrine? Though it was a hoax, the actual seed from that video was discovered. The old fog in old Minecraft does feel pretty creepy though. If you're in Java Edition, don't build your walls out of magma blocks. Although magma might seem like a good barrier against hostile creatures, spiders can climb over them in this edition. However, if you're in Bedrock Edition, magma blocks are a safer choice for wall construction because spiders can't climb them. Redstone is great for creating contraptions, but having wires all across your floor is hideous! To cover them up, you can actually place item frames and map arts on top to hide the wires. This way, my floor looks clean and stylish. Endermen hate water, but in Java, they're able to stay inside of a water cauldron without any problem. But in Bedrock, cauldrons behave properly, and Endermen will get hurt by touching the water inside. white. Don't let your sheep near evokers. They'll convert all your blue sheep to red. If you're not a big fan of this, however, you can disable it from happening by setting mob griefing to false. Now you can't grief my sheep! If you're being chased by enemies and don't have any pearls to escape, do this. Use a punch bow to boost yourself across a large distance. It's particularly good for jumping over large chasms since your enemies will have trouble crossing over, while you can just boost over. The technique is, however, very hard to master. You need to aim your bow at roughly 45 degrees and time the shot so the arrow flies directly into you. While lakes are normally quite shallow, this seed has one extremely deep. The lake goes all the way down to below y=0, and down here, you'll find things like glow squids and even an amethyst geode. If you head out to the lake and look around the mountains, you'll find a village with a bunch of paths going everywhere but with only 3 houses and a random farm. You may know that piglins are scared of soul fire, but they also fear something quite silly. In Bedrock Edition, even if you extinguish a soul campfire, the piglins will still run away from the extinguished logs. How does this item exist with a stack count of 0? Back in Snapshot 15W31A, you could create such an anomaly. If you shot a bow with 0 durability, it would result in a 0 stack item. When it snows in Bedrock Edition, the leaves actually change color to white, and it looks so pretty. If you place down jungle leaves here, it looks like they have bananas or some kind of fruit attached to them. With 9 diamonds, you can craft a diamond block, and if you change your mind, you can revert it back into individual diamonds. However, the same isn't true for netherwart. While you can craft a netherwart block from 9 netherwarts, once crafted, you can't convert it back into individual netherwarts. This is intentional because netherwart blocks are super easy to get in Crimson Forest biomes. Allowing them to be reverted would make farming for individual netherwarts almost pointless. Snow is a lot more realistic in Bedrock. If you break the blocks below snow layers, the snow actually has a falling animation similar to sand. What's even more interesting is that you can place snow layers inside of flowers. In Java, you'll just have patches of grass wherever you have a flower planted, which looks quite odd. Cobwebs slow down player movement, but what will happen if you throw a projectile at it? Will the cobweb catch it? Nope! The snowball just travels right through like it's not even there. You can even throw an egg at an entire line of them and it'll fly right through. However, in one snapshot, things were very different. Cobwebs would actually catch projectiles like eggs, ender pearls, and snowballs and turn them into their item forms. But in the very next snapshot, this feature was removed. TNT launchers are perfect for blowing up your enemies, but what if you wanted something a little less destructive? Well, you'll need the dripstone launcher. It can be built with just a few observers, pistons, and tripwire hooks. When you place a dripstone, it'll fall down and get launched by TNT into your enemies. Or if that's too complex, you can also set up a bubble beam column to hold the dripstone for you to launch. Cakes are delicious! In the Bedrock Edition, when you eat one, you'll even hear burping sounds. Oops, excuse me. If you look really closely at the end portal in Java and Bedrock, you'll notice that the portal texture differs slightly between the 2 versions. You can see this difference easily by zooming in with a spyglass. Swamp Huts in Bedrock Edition hides a super useful secret. Their cauldrons have a chance to be filled with a random potion, while in Java, these cauldrons are just empty. Instead of using TNT to launch you, have it launch an ender pearl instead. You won't take damage from all the TNT, and you will be able to send the pearl far away. However, make sure the launcher isn't too powerful, or the ender pearl will end up in an unloaded chunk and never land. This mace has custom enchantments. The first one is able to stun nearby mobs and spark mini lightning bolts. The second enchantment generates a shockwave that launches the mobs into the air, causing significant fall damage upon landing. The third enchantment creates a crater where it strikes. All these custom enchantments were created by Macastine. Beacons are extremely tough blocks since they're made out of obsidian. However, they can actually be mined with a fist and the item will drop. If I had to guess, Mojang probably doesn't want your hard-earned beacon to break just because you used the wrong tool. Corals are slightly different between Minecraft editions. If you place a coral fan on the wall in Bedrock, it'll only be one-sided. But if you place the same fan in Java, it'll be two-sided. This is one of the prettiest seeds ever! It features enormous cliffs encompassing mesa, savanna, jungle, and plains biomes. Below the mountains, a vast serpentine lake cuts through the landscape, making it an amazing spot for fishing. This woodland mansion is a sight to behold at 101 blocks tall, supported by a massive cobblestone foundation. I wonder how pillagers even built all that. You need to eat this flower. While you can't normally eat the decorative plants, if you add a dandelion to your mushroom stew, it'll supercharge it with saturation. The mushroom stew by itself only fuels up 3 hunger bars. However, if you just add a dandelion to the crafting recipe, you'll get a suspicious stew that covers 6.5 hunger bars. Don't have any fireworks but want to fly? Just cram a bunch of mobs into a small area and jump inside. All those moving entities will collide with you and generate enough momentum for you to fly out. What's the best way to fill this hole with water? Instead of placing water block by block, try this faster method. Place ice columns around the sides of the walls, then mine the ice columns downwards, and the water will spread evenly across your pool. Check out this spiral. To get the gold at the end, piglins in Java Edition have to run all the way to the middle. But in Bedrock, they have longer arms and just reach over. Endermites behave differently in Java and Bedrock editions. In Bedrock, Endermites are a lot more aggressive. They'll be the first ones to attack Endermen. However, in Java, it's the opposite. Java Endermites only attack when they are provoked first by Endermen. By combining a glass pane with a map inside of an item, you'll lock the map state. This way, you can keep logs of how your base changed over time. If you want a reliable way to launch high into the air, use a TNT player launcher. This design is super simple, using only a few dispensers, redstone, and TNT. Once you're ready, just stand in the center and press the button to send yourself straight into the sky. However, if this isn't enough power for you, you can always stack a ton of dispensers to blast you high into space. I've been falling for 10 minutes. What's the lowest field of view you can get in vanilla Minecraft? To get it, set your FOV slider to the minimum, apply the maximum level of slowness effect, and then use a spyglass. You can see miles away with this method. In Java Edition, if you cast your fishing rod through lava and the bobber lands on a mob, nothing will happen. However, in Bedrock Edition, this action will cause the mob to catch fire. This is the Minecraft China Edition launcher. The front page is filled with recommended servers, maps, and mods you can install. However, these are just the recommendations, and there are a lot more options. To join servers in China Edition, click this second tab called Game Center. Here you'll see a list of all kinds of servers, and some of which even have over 1,000 players online. What's interesting is that most of these Chinese servers are modded, so when you click play, the necessary files will automatically download before sending you directly into the server. The quality of these servers can vary a lot. Some of these are pretty bad, while others are just clones of American servers. However, there are also some fantastic modded servers, like roleplay ones with custom weapons and monsters that offer a unique experience. In the China launcher, there's a special area called the Component Center. Here is where you'll find a variety of mods, shader packs, adventure maps, and skins. It's pretty convenient that they're all located in one place. Did you know that the China launcher has its own social network? There's a community section where players can make posts about whatever they want, like memes or random thoughts. There's also a separate game forum with things like announcements, tips, and asking other players for help. Minecraft China Edition has quests and challenges. In the Activities Center, you can get rewarded for completing challenges like logging on daily, joining servers, and playing for a certain amount of time. What are all these different currencies in China Edition? Diamonds and emeralds are the main in-game currencies, which players can acquire through real money purchases or by completing challenges. These currencies are used to purchase things like mods, cosmetics, and even to gamble on mystery chests. But the currencies get even stranger. Certain mystery boxes and events have their own currencies. These separate events exist so you can unlock limited time cosmetics. If you want to create a world in China Edition, just click this blue button. A new window will then open, and you can click this map icon. Here you will have the option to create the world in either Java or Bedrock Edition. This detail matters because the Java worlds are nearly identical to the version we'll have. However, the Chinese Bedrock version has a special pet feature. If you create a Minecraft China Bedrock world, you'll spawn in and find a strange-looking fox. This isn't a normal mob, but it's a pet. If you check your inventory, you'll also notice a pet menu. Here you'll be able to change your pet's skin, have it emote, shine a beam into the sky, and even use it for extra storage. But that's not all. The pet lets you toggle the view of mob health, so you can see the HP of the mobs you're fighting. The cosmetics in China Edition are insane! First off, cosmetics are split between the Java and Bedrock versions. Java cosmetics are pretty straightforward, featuring high-resolution anime skins. However, Bedrock cosmetics takes things to another level. In addition to some cool anime skins, Bedrock lets you customize your items and armor in amazing ways. Your swords can look like magical blades, armor can transform into futuristic tech, shadows can be swapped out, and even horses can be turned into fantastic creatures. Going in-game, you'll see these cosmetics will replace the textures of your regular items and armors. There's even a kill effect when you kill mobs. This is a mobile version of Minecraft China Edition, and it's insane! It can handle all kinds of mod packs and even supports modded multiplayer servers, like this online Pokemon one. I'm amazed how it's able to run on a phone. Plus, it features the same crazy cosmetics as in the computer version. If you enter the social tab in China Edition, you'll find a housing area. Here you'll find a simple wooden house with your pet inside. You can transform this room by purchasing blocks from the store and then using them to decorate. You're also able to visit random people's houses, and some of them look quite unique. Did you know China Edition has custom modes? That's right, there are 10 custom modes built directly into this version. They range from a slime ranch game to adventure story maps to the most popular Apocalypse mode. The Apocalypse mode is the most well developed and features a brand new dimension, custom bosses, a wide variety of gear, and much more. Come on, I'll show you. When you first spawn into Minecraft China's Apocalypse mode, you're given a mysterious guidebook. Most of its secrets are locked away, with only a single section unlocked. As you complete the challenges, new parts of the book slowly reveal themselves. To access the ominous Chaos Dimension, you'll need to construct a portal out of obsidian and blue ice. Step through the blue portal, and you'll be inside the Chaos World. This is the Misty Forest. It's one of the custom biomes found inside the Chaos Dimension. Here, towering spruce trees stretch toward the sky, while a dense fog obscures your vision. As you explore, keep an eye out for fallen trees. They hide loot chests filled with surprises. These chests break upon opening and can give you anything from custom mob drops to special minerals. If you head deeper into the forest, you can even find abandoned houses that you can explore and find loot chests in. Running around the forest floors is the squirrel. This friendly creature can come in either orange or gray colors. I don't recommend killing it because it won't drop any loot. Throughout the misty forest, small ponds are scattered everywhere. Inside of them, you'll find lots of colorful sea creatures. There are two friendly types of fish here, the colorful finians and the glow shrimp. When killed, they'll drop their respective fish item like a red finian or glow shrimp. While these items aren't edible, they hold a unique purpose. You can craft them into fish tanks, and they look so nice. The different color variations will make for great decorations inside a home. But what's even crazier is that if you right-click it, you can ride it. It even travels quickly on water. Additionally, both the shrimp and finians have a chance to drop an essence item, which can be crafted into a night vision potion. Don't go near this fish! While most of the creatures in the misty forest are friendly, the ghost fish is a dangerous exception. These aggressive fish will try to bite you if you get too close. They spawn in massive hordes, so if you stumble into the wrong pond, prepare for a full-on swarm. But if you manage to take down a ghost fish, it'll drop a fish scale item. These scales can be crafted into fish scale armor, providing 8 armor bars of protection, or into a fish scale sword, which deals the same damage as a diamond sword. The first boss in Minecraft China's Apocalypse mode is the Cyclops. He's found deep within the misty forest inside a giant tree stump. His primary attack is a powerful swing, but after a few seconds, he'll power up and charge at you. You can easily dodge the charge because of the visual indicator, but if you do get hit, it'll do a lot of damage. Once you take down the Cyclops, it drops a giant eye and some giant angles. The giant eye is purely a trophy, but the giant angles are valuable. They can be used to craft Titan leggings and a Titan chest plate, both of which grant fire resistance. A Titan sword and pickaxe can be crafted as well, but they act just like diamond tools. In Apocalypse mode, when you die, a tombstone will mark the spot where you fell. Upon respawning, you'll receive a piece of paper with the coordinates to your final resting place, so you can easily find the location where you died. If you're exploring the plains in Minecraft China Edition, keep your eyes peeled for an ancient Stonehenge structure. At its center lies the mysterious altar block. Interact with it and you'll be challenged with a trivia question. Answer correctly and you'll be rewarded with a valuable item. But if you get it wrong, you'll have to settle for something less impressive. Plus, there's a 10-minute cooldown, so you can't abuse the feature. Soaring high in the sky are eagles. These huge birds are passive creatures and just enjoy flying above you. If you manage to kill one, it won't drop any items, so you should just leave them alone. Unless you're a psychopath! In China Edition, there's a special new animal, antelopes. These passive animals gallop across the land and run away from players. If hunted, they'll drop raw antelope meat. Eating this meat raw won't refill any hunger bars, but will regenerate 1.5 hearts. But if you take the extra time to cook it, you'll enjoy both the heart regeneration and an extra 1.5 hunger bars. Overall, not too shabby. As you explore your world, there's a chance a poet will spawn and start playing a tune. At first, it might seem charming, but trust me, it gets super annoying fast. And the worst part, you can't even get rid of it because it can't be killed. The poet trades items with you, but honestly, with how annoying it is, I'd rather it just not exist. Just imagine the wandering trader, but it spawns 5 times as much and plays a song whenever it spawns. This is the Mage Prison Tower. The central tower is surrounded by 4 outer towers, each holding a silver chest at the top. Your mission is to navigate through each of the towers and open the silver chest. Only one of the chests will will hold the prison key, which is used to summon the boss. Be careful though, the towers are filled with mage skeletons that shoot a purple beam at you, as well as knight skeletons wielding stone blades. Once you get the key, make your way through the central tower, and at the top, a purple portal awaits. You have to enter it with the prison key in your inventory to spawn the mage boss. This is the Fallen Mage. It's the second boss in Minecraft China's Apocalypse mode. It initially has 4 shields activated, and it's impossible to attack in this stage. To bring down these shields, you'll need to take out the guardian skeletons it spawns, all while dodging the mage's relentless spell attacks. Once the shields are down, the battle heats up as the mage switches between powerful melee strikes and deadly spells. Killing the mage will drop a withered heart, which is a trophy item, and a chance to drop one of 3 staffs. By killing the fallen mage, you can get either the alchemy, blood, or burst staff. The alchemy staff deals 4 damage and fires a line of golden nuggets. The blood staff, while dealing 3 damage, heals you a little with each hit. The burst staff packs the most punch, dealing 5 damage and unleashing a fiery burst that creates a mini explosion. Each staff has a cooldown, so you can't spam them, but they're still incredibly powerful because they never lose durability when you right-click. The mage summons 4 guardian skeletons, and most of them only drop bones. However, the guardian wearing a pumpkin actually has a chance to drop the weapon it's wielding, the rose sword. If you're lucky enough to get it, you'll have a blade that deals 8 damage and a special ability. Each time you strike a mob with the rose sword, there's a chance to receive a gold rose, a valuable item for crafting. This is a chaos biome. It's the 3rd custom biome in Minecraft China's Apocalypse mode. It's filled with netherrack, lava pools, orange-colored water, and some dangerous mobs. These pig-like creatures are called chaos beasts. They'll charge at you with a fierce melee attack, so be ready. Defeating one of these guys has a chance to drop chaos sludge. This mysterious substance can be combined with diamond gear to create chaos armor, which, while it doesn't offer any extra protection compared to diamonds, looks incredibly cool. But that's not all. Chaos sludge can also be used to upgrade your items. The chaos sword will deal 8 damage, and the chaos pickaxe is capable of mining blocks on either side of the block you're mining. Get away from me! The variant creature is another scary beast in the chaos biome. It looks sort of like an evil gorilla. If you get near these guys, they will charge at you and hit you. But if you kill it, it'll drop a variant crystal. The Wandering Evil is a rare skeleton that roams a chaos biome. It has a cracked skull with flames coming out of its head. Although it looks pretty scary, it just whacks you with its stick, and defeating this foe will reward you with an evil crystal. With just 2 variant crystals and 2 evil crystals, you can craft the Morph Potion. Drinking this potion will transform you into a random chaos beast for 2 minutes. But beware, despite your new monstrous appearance, the hostile creatures won't be fooled and will still attack you. The chaos biome is home to a hidden labyrinth. If you stumble upon a strange tomb and dig through the top blocks, you'll uncover a passage leading underground. This isn't just any dungeon, it's a tomb of the mermaid boss. Inside, you'll face dangerous mobs and find a mysterious portal. But before you can use it, you'll need to find the 5 hidden pearls. They're scattered throughout the vast labyrinth and are cleverly hidden. You have to do all sorts of things like parkouring over cobwebs and swimming through sewers. It's easy to lose your way in this maze, but once you've gathered all the pearls, enter the portal to summon the fearsome mermaid boss. This is the mermaid boss! She just waits in her coffin and won't attack you until you hit her first. Her main attack is to repeatedly shoot a water beam at you. She's not the most powerful boss, and I kind of feel bad killing this boss. However, once you finally kill her, she'll drop mermaid tears, which can be crafted into a fireproof potion. And she'll also drop a mermaid crown, which is a trophy for taking her down. Minecraft China Edition features 2 special ores, obtainable by mining deep underground at diamond level, opening gold chests, or from the ore deity statue. The first, Kami ore, can be crafted into some of the best armor in the game. The full set looks epic and grants you speed, water breathing, and thorns to enemies attacking you. The second is Cupid ore, which can be crafted into a Cupid sword with a chance to heal you when you hit a mob, and Cupid armor that occasionally restores your health when you're hit. There's also a Cupid axe and pickaxe, but they're the same as diamond tools. With some Cupid ore, Kami ore, emeralds, strings, and gold roses, you can craft the mermaid bracelet. But what does it do? During the mermaid boss battle, offer her the bracelet and she'll peacefully drop her crown and mermaid tears, allowing you to bypass the fight entirely. As a bonus, she'll also reward you with the Blessing Staff. This item doesn't deal damage, but instead heals mobs its beam comes in contact with. In the dark underground, beware of the ancient ghost. This semi-transparent hostile creature creature will hunt you down and clap you with its fierce attacks, but don't expect any loot. When you defeat him, he drops nothing, which honestly kinda makes sense. When mining underground in the China edition, keep an eye out for a peculiar creature known as the Ore Eater. Featuring a melee claw attack, this unique entity is not just a threat but a valuable find. If you kill one of these, they can drop either Kami or Cupid ore, which is normally hard to find. This is the Ore Deity statue, one of the most overpowered features in China Edition's Apocalypse mode. It's found inside of gold chests and the Stonehenge structure. When you place it down, all sorts of ores will start generating from diamonds to Cupid ore. And the best part, this statue provides an endless supply of ore. So if you manage to get your hands on one, you'll never have to go mining again. The strange insect is a hostile mob that comes in two variants. The black ones will attack you like normal, but the green ones will infect you with poison each time it hits you. These guys spawn underground and can even spawn as a jockey with skeletons riding them. Once you kill these creatures, you'll get an insect tooth which can be traded with the poet. There are volcanoes in China Edition, but beware, these aren't just ordinary mountains. Inside, a powerful tentacle monster known as the Chaos Entity awaits you. This fearsome creature holds fireballs at you, which you can reflect. The battle won't be easy due to the sheer number of fireballs shot at you. However, if you manage to defeat it, you'll be rewarded with Chaos Sludge and the mysterious letter the monster received from his sister. This may look like a regular ice spikes biome, but it's not. It's the polar ice sheets biome in China Edition. Here you'll find 3 bosses as well as penguins scattered throughout the land. I don't recommend killing the penguins though, as they're friendly and won't drop anything if you kill them. The igloos in China Edition are unlike anything you've seen before. Step inside and you'll discover a stairway leading underground. Once you make your way down, you'll find a maze room with loot chests scattered throughout, a pile of valuable ores, a small underground farm, and 2 types of robot spawners. Killing the robots will drop machine parts, which can be traded with the poet. But the real challenge comes when you venture into the corner room, where the boss, Pale Man, spawns to face off against you. Beneath the igloo lies the boss, Pale Man. Armed with a wrench, he'll charge at you with powerful melee attacks and unleash a barrage of wrenches from a distance. To make matters worse, his robot minions will constantly spawn around you, turning the battle into pure chaos. Once you bring down Pale Man, he'll drop the Institute key, your ticket to summoning the next boss. The Institute is home to the Mad Scientist boss in China Edition. It's a massive dome with a telescope looking into the sky. Once you enter through the water entrance, it may seem like nothing here, but in the middle, you'll find an elevator pad that, when right-clicked, will teleport you 32 blocks down to the basement. The basement is massive. The floors here are filled with robot spawners, loot crates, farms, bookshelves, and lava. The goal is to make it down one more floor and then head to the center where you'll enter the boss's room. There's a keypad here and can only be activated if you have the Institute key. To summon the Mad Scientist, you'll need to click on the keypad while holding the Institute key. This triggers a fast-paced mini-game where you must click blue icons and avoid the red bombs. You'll have 60 seconds to score 100 points, and depending on your performance, you'll either gain or lose a combat advantage against the boss. Once the game is complete, the Mad Scientist will spawn in a huge explosion. She attacks by shooting powerful slime balls and flying around the arena. It's recommended to use ranged weapons to reach her when she's in the air. When you've gotten her down to about 20% health, she collapses, summoning lightning across the battlefield while regenerating her health. If you can defeat her at this stage, she has a chance to drop the following items: the Madman Gene Sphere, which is a trophy, the Nuclear Crown, which grants night vision when worn, and Crazy Slime, which can be used to shoot powerful slime balls. Additionally, once you slay the Mad Scientist, she leaves a message urging you to release someone from the underground prison. If you dig beneath the evil scientist's lair, you'll encounter the Prophet, a formidable boss who has been tortured inside the basement. The fight is incredibly difficult. If you get within 10 blocks of the Prophet, he'll poison you instantly. Every few seconds, he'll inflict you with slowness, giving him the chance to close in and strike with his deadly magical staff. Make sure you bring healing items to this battle if you don't want to die. But if you manage to land the final blow, the Prophet will reward you with some incredible loot. Defeating the Prophet will reward you with an array of powerful items. First, you'll receive the Prophet's Prophecy, a warning against the pursuit of power. You may also obtain the Prophet's Robe and Leggings, both strong pieces of armor. For offense, there's the Goddess Trial, a weapon that deals 8 damage and poisons enemies with each strike. Finally, the Petrochemical Staff slows enemies with its potent slowness effect, giving you the upper hand in future battles. The ocean in China Edition is especially dangerous. Beneath the surface lurks the bloodthirsty Sharksman, a hostile sea predator that will relentlessly swim towards you, ready to take a bite. These creatures typically spawn in small groups, making them potentially tricky to handle. Defeating them can yield shark tears and black leather. The black leather is useless, while the shark tears can be crafted into a demon potion. Drinking this potion is risky because you will be affected with both the withering effect, but also grant you strength 3 in return. Inside China Edition's oceans, you'll find a fish called the Big Eye Fish. Killing it will drop a fish item which, when eaten, will give regeneration briefly. But an even prettier fish is the jellyfish. These translucent creatures will gracefully swim through the ocean. If you murder one of these, it'll drop a jelly body, which when eaten will give regeneration as well. There are also giant squids and whales in the deep parts of the ocean. These creatures are passive, and killing them won't drop any items, so you should leave them alone. These are tidals! They're a hostile sea mob that will spawn at you with murderous intent. They sort of look like villagers and have a similar swimming animation to players. Individually, they're not too tough to defeat, but their numbers can quickly become overwhelming. Take them down and you'll be rewarded with black leather. The final boss in China Edition lives in the Sea Palace, a large castle built mainly from sandstone and oak planks. The palace features 4 corner rooms on the outside, each housing a tidal spawner. To reach the Tidal Queen's throne room, you'll need to navigate to the center of the palace and leap down through the middle. The first chamber you enter contains 4 tidal spawners, which can be very annoying if you let the tidals spawn in. Your best strategy is to dig below and block them off quickly. Once that's done, prepare yourself. You're now face to face with the Tidal Queen. The Tidal Queen is the final boss in Minecraft China's Apocalypse mode. To begin the fight, you have to attack the Queen first. She won't retaliate until her health reaches about 30%. That's when things get intense. She'll start unleashing deadly bubble beams, and every time you get hit, she'll regenerate. And once she regenerates enough health, she'll summon a horde of tidal mobs to attack you. It's recommended to have Death Strider boots, so you can dodge her attacks quickly, and strong enchanted weapons that will damage her more than she can heal. Defeat her, and you'll be rewarded with the Empress Scepter, a unique weapon with 1 attack damage. Nice. That's everything in the Apocalypse mode. However, there are 9 other incredible modes. If you love farming, you should try out the China Edition mode called Slime Story. Here, the goal is to build and manage a successful slime ranch. You can do this by collecting various types of slimes in the wild and raising them to harvest. These slimes will help earn you money, which you can use to expand your ranch. It seems to be inspired from the game Slime Rancher. Minecraft has a secret tower defense game. In China Edition, there's a game mode called Codename XIHE. It's set in the future, where humans rely on a red crystal to survive and must defend it from aliens. This mode plays like a tower defense game, where you strategically set traps to stop waves of aliens from reaching and taking the red crystal. Check out this amazing China Edition mode. It's called Journey to the West, the 3 Strikes and the White Bone Demon. This game mode takes you on an epic journey to retrieve sacred scriptures from the West. By retrieving the sacred scriptures, it'll bring peace to the homeland. However, it won't be easy because you'll face fierce demons, explore mystical locations, and need powerful magical weapons. In China Edition, there's a game called Journey to the West, Havoc in Heaven. Here you fight against ghosts and monsters who are wreaking havoc across the world. You have to journey through the 3 realms, Earth, Heaven, and the Underworld to uncover the truth behind the attacks on the world and restore balance to the world. This game mode is sad. China Edition has a game mode called 3 Kingdoms, 1,000 Miles Alone. The goal of this game mode is to reunite with your brother during a chaotic 3-kingdom war. Along the way, you must increase your skills and overcome enemies. The 3 Kingdoms Chibi game mode is an adventure map based on a famous battle called the Battle of Red Cliffs. You will play the role of a war general and will have to help unify the land. But there's a mode in China Edition called Lunar Escape, Light and Dark. The world is ruled by 7 tribes, and you must level up your magic abilities, get weapons, and take down the tribe bosses. In Minecraft China Edition's Endless Fantasy mode, your sister vanished during an expedition, leading you to a mysterious land. As you search for her, you'll explore eerie locations, solve puzzles, and meet strange characters that blur the line between reality and dream. In the China Edition mode, Star Adventures Crash Landing, you play as a space explorer who crashes on a mysterious planet, facing extreme conditions like vast temperature differences and thirst. You will explore strange, unique biomes while encountering exotic alien life.